Hello, everybody. This is Aide-de-Camp, and I'm coming at you today with a tier listing. This is going to be for every single Scooby-Doo villain from the classic series and movies. I do have some stipulations about that. So it's not just every villain, so it's not the monsters and the people who were pretending to be monsters. It's either just the monsters, or if the villain itself was more than just a person, it's going to have them as the villain. I'm going to rank them. But if there was only a villain and not a monster, and that villain was just a bad person, then I'm not going to include them on the list, because they just automatically get F tier, because that's just a person. That's just a human being. There'd have to be something special about them, like maybe magic powers, or maybe they're a giant, or something like that. That would let them be on the list. Same goes for animals. If it's like a special giant animal, I'm going to include them. But if it's just a lion and that's like on the list, then I'm not going to include them. I'm basing all of this off of Scoobypedia. Scoobypedia has this article here, list of monsters and villains, and I decided I would do everything from all of the shows up to What's New Scooby-Doo. I'm going to cut it off right there. I did grow up with What's New Scooby-Doo. That was one of my favorite Scooby-Doo shows, but it's not classic Scooby-Doo. I don't know, I'm going to include a pup named Scooby-Doo for a couple of reasons, but the biggest one is just because I had to cut it off somewhere. I decided What's New Scooby-Doo was going to be the cutoff. So a pup named Scooby-Doo is going to be included. And part of that was also because I wanted to include some of the movies. And if I cut it off with the shows at A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, I'd also have to cut off some of the movies. So I thought it just made more sense to include A Pup Named Scooby-Doo as a show. Then I'm going to rank the villains for... and as for the movies, I kind of tried to time it so that it was up with What's New Scooby-Doo. So the cutoff for the movies is going to be... Let's see, where are the movies? Still in the shows. 13 goes. Okay. Right here. Okay. So I'm going to include Zombie Island, Witches, Ghosts, Alien Invaders, and Cyber Chase. I'm cutting it off with The Legend of the Vampire. And that is big sad, because actually the Yowie Yahoo is just like one of the ones that I remember very well from Scooby-Doo, so I'm going to have to cut it off, and I'm deciding to do it with Legend of the Vampire. So, and then, let's see, I'm going to include the TV specials. Let's see where those are. I'm not going to include Lego, the specials here, everything from Scooby Goes Hollywood to Arabian Nights, all of them. Well, actually, not technically Arabian Nights, because the villains are just people, and I'm not including them, but I would have included them otherwise. So these four, at least. Technically, you could say I'm ranking them, but they're just F tier. Theatrical, I'm not going to include any of the live-action movies or Scoob. I'm not doing short films. No comics or books, none of them. I don't have, like, any connection to them. I never read any of them. So I'm just not going to rank them, even if some of the books and comics are older. There's a case to be made that they're classic, but most people just aren't familiar with them. And unless you're a very strong Scooby-Doo fan, or unless you just were raised on them, which I assume is not going to be most people, they're probably just not going to be that iconic to not classic. So I'm not going to include them. I'm not going to include the shorts, because most of them seem newer, so I'm not going to include the shorts, and I'm not going to include any of the video games. I actually did play a few Scooby-Doo video games growing up, but they're just, again, not really what I would think of when I think of classic Scooby-Doo villains. I'm just not going to include them. So now that my kind of parameters are organized, we can begin. So, with the first one, What a Night for a Night, the Black Knight. This is a pretty iconic villain, you know. It's a pretty good... So actually, now's a good time for me to mention kind of like what I'm looking for when it comes to villains. So I want a good design. I want it to be like just a really unique, interesting, scary design. And then also, if I do have a personal relationship, because I didn't watch all of these things, so I don't have a personal relationship with all of them. I can rate it by how scared I was of that monster as a kid. So with the Black Knight, it's obviously the first episode, so it's a good start. But it's designed, it's just a knight in armor. It was a good villain. It was a scary villain, but it wasn't that much. I think I'm gonna rank the Black Knight. Let's see if I can. Oh, that's not it. I'm probably going to put the Black Knight. Where is the Black Knight? Oh, for the record, there are 303 villains that I have in this ranking, so it might take a second for me to find some of the earlier ones, some of the first ones that I go for. Let's see, I'm looking around. I am including a few villains that weren't original to Scooby-Doo, because they were in older properties and because I grew up with them. Ah, there's the Knight. So I'm going to put the Knight, I'll put the Knight in B tier. It was a good start, but it's not that unique of a design, and it just didn't scare me that much. It didn't stick with me as much as some of the other original series monsters did. So I'm going to put the Black Knight in B tier. Let's see, the Ghost of Captain Cutler. Now this is an iconic ghost. Pretty much any of them from the original series is going to be iconic. Oops, I hope that didn't. Pretty much any of them from the original series is going to be iconic. It kind of introduced me to that old-timey like suit of diver suit, because like you never see them much unless they're in like museums or in a monster movie like this. So I'm gonna say it's a good design. It didn't particularly scare me growing up, but it was scarier than the Black Knight. I'm gonna put Captain Cutler. Let's see. I'm gonna put Captain Cutler in A tier. I will admit I'm probably biased for some of these earlier ones. I love the original series. That and What's New Scooby-Doo are really what I grew up on when it came to Scooby-Doo, some of the movies as well. So I'm going to put Captain Cutler in A tier. It was just a little more than just a knight. I know it is a diving suit, but it was also spookier coming out of the water like that. I'm going to say A tier for Captain Cutler. Then Hassel in the Castle, you have the Phantom. This one is just a bedsheet. I know it was like see-through and that made it scarier, but it wasn't that scary to me. I think this one probably, let's see if I can find the Phantom. It's just not much. It's just a bedsheet ghost that's kind of see-through. I'm gonna put it in D tier. It's just kind of a very basic idea for a monster, for a disguise. I'm honestly thinking the same for the Minor 49er. I was a little more afraid of the Minor 49er as a kid, but it's just a dude. This is literally just a guy. I'm including him. I am going to include the Minor 49er as one of the villains, because it's from the original series. I did have kind of it was iconic in my mind. So I will include the Minor 49er, but he's going in F tier. He is going to go in F tier because he's just a guy. He's just a guy. And that was really, there's just not much to it. Let's see if I can find the Minor. There he is. Okay, so we're going F tier for the Minor. Indian Witch Doctor. So this one, it's a dude in a mask. Let's see, it's been a while since I've seen one of the original episodes. Teleport into a curtain of fire. Oh, I do remember that. Yeah. Some of these early ones are a little unfortunate nowadays. I'm going to say the Indian Witch Doctor is probably pretty low for me as well. I'm going to say F tier as well. It's just not that interesting. The mask is cool. Virtual Villagers 5 vibes, but it's just a dude. I mean, he's got a little more powers than just the Minor being a spook, but I'm going to say F tier. The Ghost of Lice Kingston, at least this is a ghost. It's supposed to be a ghost. I remember this one being a lot creepier to me, but it's still kind of just a guy. So I'm gonna say, where is Elias? Probably gonna be around here, right? Maybe a bit higher up. Oh, I didn't realize I went down so far. There he is. I'm gonna say D tier for Elias Kingston. These have the benefit of supposing they're trying to be ghosts and not just people in masks. Even if they are still, and that's like one of the big critiques. I'm gonna try to avoid just saying they're people in masks because that's all of them mostly. So I'm gonna try to avoid that unless that's literally all it is. So these are just people in masks, and that's kind of it. At least these are trying to be ghosts. At least this is the Black Knight, and that's supposed to be a diver. These really are not quite what I want out of a villain. Some of them can be iconic, certainly, but that doesn't mean they're all that special. So this is also, so it's an ape man. So I don't remember this episode super well. So it's not just supposed to be like a gorilla or anything. So I would say that it's better than F tier, because at least it's an ape man. It's supposed to be Carl Conan film. I'm gonna say, let's see if I can find ape man. Not F tier. I'm gonna say D tier for the ape man. Just still not that special, and it's okay. It's more than just this, but it's still not much. So we're gonna move on from there. Ape man, okay. So here we're getting to one of the monsters, one of the ghosts, one of the creeps from the original series that actually horrified me as a kid. The way he looks, those eyes that are just lights, and his mouth, and the way he walked was horrifying. And this is where my bias is coming in, because he was just, and he's not even really a monster. He's only kind of a villain just because he's going haywire. But I'm still gonna have to say, I love the character. I really love the character. So I'm gonna put Charlie. Charlie is going to be our first S tier. It was horrifying to me as a kid, and I think that really, really makes him special. Compared to the rest of these, they were definitely spooky. I was definitely creeped out by them, but they didn't just horrify me in the way that Charlie did. Even if Charlie isn't a villain, and I could see taking him down from S tier because of that, so maybe he's low S tier, but he's still going to be S tier to me. The Puppet Master, I'm going to say, so the Puppet Master, I remember him being pretty creepy. He's not much to his design. It's still kind of just a dude. But instead of F tier, where I normally would put just people, I'm gonna say D tier, because he's really spooky. Like the whole episode is just off-putting in a really creepy way, and I love that about it. But it's still, as just a villain, he's not that special. I'm gonna put him in D tier. And if this will load, we can move on. Yeah, I'm gonna put him in D tier, so that way, just because I think it's fair to him. The Ghost Clown. I do remember this one being pretty creepy. Yeah, I remember him being pretty creepy, but he's not like that special of a villain to me. So I'm going to say, anybody watching this is going to see me scroll right past it and get really annoyed because I just can't see it. Ah, there it is. I'm going to say C tier. Ghost Clown is going to be the first to fill out the row with C tier. Definitely better than just these basic ones, but still not as iconic or as scary as say, like the Black Knight. So, the Ghost Clown. Okay, so there were a whole bunch of monsters in this one. I think I included all of them. Let's see if I can find Dracula. If I didn't include all of them, then I'm just going to lump them together as who the villain they were being portrayed by is. It depends. I'm gonna try to avoid doing that. Is that it? I think that's it. Especially in this one, I think it makes sense to have them all separate. This is just Dracula. You know, not bad, but not really that special with Scooby-Doo villains, so I'm gonna say D tier. That's probably gonna be how it goes for Frankenstein's monster. Actually, okay, Dracula was whatever. I'm sorry, every time I see Frankenstein's monster here, I'm kind of remembering the episode a bit better. It's been a long time. This one was, like, spooky to me. Like those, I mean, it's the eyes. It's the eyes. It's hulking. It's creepy. I'm gonna say Frankenstein's monster is actually going to go... You know, I'm gonna put Frankenstein's monster in B tier. It's not really a classic Scooby-Doo villain, but it freaked me out, personally. And it's still a good monster. I'm gonna say B tier for Frankenstein's monster. Let's see... The Wolfman. This one was fine. I'm gonna say D tier along with Dracula here. That episode was able to pull out a really good design on the monster, but other than that, it was... I don't think... And I'm not going to be saying that word. You can read it yourself. It's just... probably one I should avoid, so you can see what it is. This monster is just kind of a person again. I'm gonna say F tier because it's just not that scary to me, and I don't even remember how much that was being used in the episode. Yeah, I'd say F tier. It's just not that special. Okay, and now we're getting to another monster that just horrified me as a kid. This was one of those that just shook me to my core, made me, like, scared to be in bed at night. I just would think about how and the way it says coin, it's just horrifying. Horrifying. I loved this episode. This was just, it's not even that scary of a design. It's just a mummy. It's just a mummy, but in the same way it kind of had, Charlie is just a robot, they did it really well. So I'm going to say the Mummy of Anka, because then here's the other thing. And I was kind of talking about this. It's not just how it looks, it's what it's doing. And this one was being scary really well. It was terrifying to me. Again, I'd say probably low S tier, but I'm still gonna say S tier. I think the monster, as it appears in the episode, deserves it because of how it was just so well done, so spooky, so horrifying. It deserves S tier. The zombie, Double Ugly here is a little spooky, not really that special. I'm gonna say C tier. I'm gonna say C tier because it's a good design, it's a little basic, it's pretty spooky, it's probably better than the rest of these. I remember that episode pretty well. It stuck with me, so I'd say it at least deserves C tier. The Witch, I actually think the zombie is better. The Witch is just a little not underrated, because I don't know how other people rank these, but just not that terrifying to me. Memorable, but not as good as the zombie, so it's gonna go in C tier. So after the Witch, we have Redbeard's Ghost. Now this one's iconic, it's a great design, it's a good ghost. It wasn't horrifying to me as a kid, but it was a really good monster for Scooby-Doo. So let's see. I'm going to say Redbeard deserves... Where is he? I don't know. I'm looking for Red, but I don't see him. There we go. That was pretty low. I'm going to say Redbeard deserves A tier. Iconic, great design, one of the classics, but not especially terrifying in the way that I really want a Scooby-Doo villain to be. So, next we have the GOAT. This spooky space kook is just the most horrifying Scooby-Doo villain that I have ever laid eyes on. The way it looks, it's just this floating alien skull in a glass case, and the lights that would flash in its head. It peers into your soul. The laugh was just absolutely terrifying. Like, it plays in my head even now, and I have to, like, hide under the covers and run for safety. This is just probably the greatest Scooby-Doo villain that I could just think of ever. So the Space Kook is getting high S tier, probably not going to be topped by any other ghost, not any that I can think of. It's just fantastic. Fantastic. They knocked it out of the park with this one. Nothing is scarier, nothing is more well done. The Space Kook deserves S tier, and deserves it more than any of them. So then we've got the Green Ghosts. They were pretty spooky. I like the chain. They're kind of classic ghouls. I'm going to say they weren't especially terrifying to me. But I really like their design. That weird, like, teal looking color, that red eye and mouth, and the black and the chain. I'm going to say S tier for them. Not S tier. A tier for them. Really good design, really good villain. Not especially horrifying to me, but it deserves some praise for what it does. That's going to give it an A tier. The Snow Ghost was spooky, I guess. Kind of scary. It's got a better design than just a monster from the Alps or anything. It's pretty spooky. I would give it, let's see, the Snow Ghost, it didn't stand out to me too much, but I'm going to say B tier. It's a good monster, and I'm going to leave it at that. So the Snow Ghost is followed by the Ghost of Mr. Hyde. I think he's got a good design. It's still kind of just a person, but a little more than that. I'm going to have to knock it a bit because it really isn't just, it's just not that special. It's a little basic. And it's just Mr. Hyde, like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, iconic for that. But again, not original to Scooby-Doo. I'm going to have to say Mr. Hyde is going to be... either C or D tier. I think it's a little more well-known and iconic, but I don't think I could put it above Elias Kingston. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in D tier and put Elias Kingston in C tier. I think Kingston deserves that. It was a good ghost, a good villain. I'm gonna say even if it was kind of just the ghost of a guy, it's a good villain. I'm gonna say C tier for him, and D tier for Mr. Hyde. Zen Tuo, I don't remember if that's how it's pronounced, but it's a good design. I like the mask. It's a little normal to me. Well, the mask is especially creepy. I'm gonna say Ghost of Zento. Let's see. You are going in, let's say C tier. I think it's got a good design, so it's gonna give it a bit more oomph than just D tier, but it's not especially terrifying. I think C tier makes enough sense. So we're gonna go there. The Caveman is a classic. A good villain, not especially, like, terrifying, but just a famous, one of the most iconic villains. It's not especially scary. It's not especially an especially good design, but it's still just one of those classic villains that really sticks with you. It was from a good episode. If I can find the Caveman, we're gonna put him, let's see. Man, I thought this would get easier. It's getting hard. Oh, there we go. He is going to go in B tier. Really good character, really good monster, really good episode, but still in the end, kind of just a dude. We're going to go B tier. For the Caveman. Let's see. The Creeper is a good design. The way he walks and moves and acts, It's a good villain. It's a classic villain. This one actually is just kind of one of the most... When you think Scooby-Doo villain, this is kind of just the picture that comes to mind. So I'm going to give the Creeper A tier. I could see putting him in B or even C tier because he is kind of just a dude, but he's more than just a dude. He's scary. And that's what I want out of a Scooby-Doo villain. He's got a good design. He was from a good episode. I'm going to factor in a lot of things when I rank these guys, but just kind of the vibe I get overall is where I'm going to put them, if that wasn't clear enough. So the Headless Spectre, I remember this one being a good episode, but like I said, I can vaguely... it's been a while. I'm realizing how much I need to watch these episodes again. So the Headless Spectre is a classic kind of monster, and then there's a phony phantom. Oh, I remember seeing him around. Where's the phony phantom? I'm going to start with him first. This is F tier. Guy in a bedsheet. I don't remember exactly why there's just a guy in a bedsheet in that episode, but he's not especially scary. So, F tier for the phony phantom. The Headless Spectre is better. Much better by comparison to the phony phantom. I'm going to say... We're probably going to put the Headless Spectre middle. I'd say middle. It's a bit scary, but it's not especially... There we go. It's not especially unique. High B, low C, or other way around. High C, low B, somewhere around there. I'm gonna say C tier. If it was more unique, I'd probably put B tier, but it's kind of just a dude without a head. Scary, not any more than any of the other ones. So next we have the Witch Doctor. Was this the poi episode? There was one where they eat poi, and I don't remember if that was this episode or if that was Luau. Yeah, I think that was this episode. I guess it's pretty scary. I actually think it's better than the Indian Witch Doctor. The Tiki Witch Doctor is... Let's see. I like his design much more. I think his episode was scarier and what he did was better. I'm going to say C tier. He's going to get 2 ranks higher. That's probably a good... I think that's a good fit for him. Oop, I hope I didn't mess this up. I think that's a good fit for him. So, next we have just a werewolf. It's a weird-looking werewolf. It's spooky. I like the red eyes, but the green skin is off for a werewolf. I think it doesn't deserve to go very high. I would have thought werewolf would be down here. These are supposed to be ranked alphabetically, but I might have messed with the file name when I saved it to my computer and uploaded this. So I don't know where it is. Did anybody see it? Because I don't. I do not. Werewolf. But anyway, yeah, so he's, I remember, like, he snarled in a way that was pretty spooky. There we go. Wow, really high. But he's not especially terrifying. Let's go C tier. I think the design is at least deserving of a C tier, even if the green skin is weird. So we're gonna go C tier. Let's see. And the last one is the Wax Phantom. This one's like got a spooky design. I can even now I can remember the music from that episode because it was just a great song to go with this scene. And he's especially scary. I think he's got a really hulking emptiness to him. I think the Wax Phantom, I'm gonna say S tier. Again, I could see putting him lower. It's a pretty basic design, but I think the basics are what Scooby-Doo does best. Look at my S tier. These are all kind of normal, almost, except for the Space Kook, because Space Kook's just that great. But they're just portrayed so well in the episodes that they deserve S tier. He's gonna be low S tier just like the other ones, but S tier nonetheless, and they all deserve it. And so that does it for the original television series, the 69 series. So this is the ranking I've got going on so far. I will now move on to the new Scooby-Doo movies, which were not really movies, I don't think. I'm pretty sure all of these were just normally length episodes. I watched quite a few of them. But, yeah, so let's start with the Gunslinger. This is robotic, isn't it? Yeah, it's a robot. I mean, I could have just seen from the image, from the design, it's pretty obviously just a robot, but it's a robot, so I'm gonna say it's better than just it being a guy. But it's still a robot of a guy. I would say that is deserving of... Where's the Gunslinger? I would say that's probably deserving of D tier. Not especially scary, not especially unique, but serves its purpose well enough. It's not bad. So yeah, I think Gunslinger deserves D tier. And I'm gonna look for him if I can find him. Man, I'm probably driving some people insane by how long it's taking me for me to find these things. There we go, there he is. D tier. Okay. Alongside the Gunslinger. You could not get away with that anymore. Oh gosh. Let's say Geronimo. It's just a dude. I'm gonna have to give Geronimo F tier. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I am going to leave it at that. I remember that episode. So I think I do, if that's the one I think it is. Hooded Man. Hooded Man. Okay. You know, again, some of these designs were pretty basic. And not in a good way, mostly because, okay, so it's fine if they're basic, but they do something with the basic designs. These are just kind of them, like what you expect out of them, and nothing especially creepy about it. So let's see, Hooded Man looks like H. I don't even know where this is. I could have skipped it on accident and not saved it to the computer. But I'm gonna keep looking. So, yeah, no, it's not especially scary. It's just a dude in a hood. And it's not even a dude. So I'd say F tier for Hooded Man. I might just keep on going, and if I find the Hooded Man, I'll add him to the list. Ah, there we go. Found it! Yeah, F tier. Not especially scary. Counterfeiter. A lot of counterfeiters in Scooby-Doo. Vulture. This is Scare the Addams Family. Yeah, I remember the ones where they meet a whole bunch of people. Those are good. I don't even know if I have Vulture on here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, F tier. It's just a bird. I don't remember if it was especially big, but it was just kind of normal, so F tier. Scarecrow. I love the design of the Scarecrow. It reminds me so much of that one Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark story. It's a good design. It's really spooky. I think that it is worth A tier. A tier. A tier. Ah, there we go. Yeah, no, good design, good scariness factor. I'm going to say A tier. A tier for the Scarecrow. Captain Moody's Ghosts. Kind of just bedsheet ghosts. Pretty basic design. A little spooky. I like that they're see-through. I don't think that it deserves any special ranking because of that. But I'm going to say C tier. I like the design. It's pretty good. Just nothing special. Phantoms. They're skeletal. Yeah. I like the eyes. I'm a sucker for kind of gaping eyes. I still don't think it's especially that scary of a design. So I'd put that probably If I can find them. Okay. Let's say D tier. Not any special characters, just ghosts. So that's where I'm going to go with that. So, this episode had a bunch of monsters. They aren't all listed together. If you go to this link and you see, let's see, I think villains, yeah. It shows, like, all of these monsters, and I think, like, they're Ghost. That's a pretty good Ghost design. Ghost, Sheik. Ooh. There we go again. Iconic old Scooby-Doo. Mummy. Yeah, so I'm going to rank them all together under Zalia Z Fairchild. They're all going to be one group together. Classic, not especially horrifying. So they're all getting ranked in D tier. Not anything unique. The Ghost has a good design, but it's nothing too much to write home about. Sharkmen, I like the design of the Sharkmen. Sharks with legs is kind of weird, and I think it's funny. Legs and arms. I think it's pretty funny. You see... stoned out of its mind. I'm going to say Sharkmen deserve a pretty good rating. I would probably place them, in that case, around B tier. I'm going to say B tier if I... they are kind of basic, but I think it's kind of cool that they got those legs and arms. So I'm going to say B tier for the Sharkmen. Then we've got a cackling skeleton, Skeleton Man. I think that's got a spooky face. It's a pretty interesting design, even if it's just like a skeleton suit, one of those blackout ones with the white. They do that a lot, apparently. But I think it's a good design. I'm going to give this one B tier. It's just a little spooky. Like those eyes, the mouth. It's unsettling. It's a good design. I'm going to say B tier for Skeleton Man. Then here we've got the Ghost of Bigfoot. Now that's not really what I think of when I picture Bigfoot. It's a little spooky. I think I remember this episode. So let's say Bigfoot Ghost here is probably not going to get ranked very high. I'd say it's a little weird. It's not really Bigfoot, though, and even then, Bigfoot's not original. So I'd say, overall, it's probably gonna get... it's probably C tier. It's a little unsettling. Maybe D tier, but it'd be high D, low C, somewhere around there. And I don't see it. Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah, I guess I'd say C tier. I think like I said, I like the empty eyes. It's a little spooky, and that's about all I could say for it. So it's worth a bit, but it's not especially terrifying or anything. I like the Ghost of the Red Baron. Obviously, being in the plane, it's got this like spooky skull mouth and face. It's a pretty good design. I would give it, let's see, I think I saw this earlier. I would give it a pretty fair rating, I would say. I'll give you B tier. I think it's a little spooky. I think it's a little unique, giving the white face. I'd say B tier is fair for the Red Baron. Here we see the Ghost of Redbeard, and this time it's the same Redbeard, but it's like a different ghost. I don't remember this episode. It's interesting that it's all white, but it's not really any more interesting than the actual Redbeard. I'd say that knocks it down a few pegs to C tier. And then from here, Redbeard goes, the Haunted Horseman. This is a good design. Obviously, it's just kind of a knight in armor. It's spectral. I'd say that gives it a bit of a boost. So the Ghost Horseman is going to say, I'm going to say B tier for that one. Again, not one that I'm familiar with, but it's a good design. The Moat Monster, I do remember the Moat Monster. Vaguely, but I do remember the Moat Monster. So at least there's something to say that it was memorable, but it's also just kind of a big frog. I'm going to say this one goes C tier. If that one was B tier, if the Horseman was B tier, the Moat Monster is C tier. But I did like the Moat Monster. So now we've got some possessed Viking mannequin and possessed Davy Crockett mannequin. They're just mannequins, and they're not even mannequins of monsters. They're just mannequins of people. Both of them are going to get F tier. Yeah, there's Viking, F tier, and Davy Crockett, F tier. They're just human mannequins. Nothing more, nothing special, not very high. So now we have the Dryad, and I'm actually going to do 4 rankings for this one, because here's the Dryad. I remember this episode, I watched it a lot, and I thought it was, I think the Dryad's pretty spooky. It's only in like 1 scene, I think, maybe 2. It has still been a minute. I watched it a lot as a kid. I need to watch it again. It was a great episode. I loved that one. So the Dryad is probably, I'm gonna say B tier. It doesn't deserve A tier, but it's a good design. It's pretty spooky, and I remember being pretty off-put by it. So I'm gonna give the Dryad. B tier. The Troll, I'm probably gonna say isn't as scary of a design. I don't remember it as well. It wasn't in much. So the Troll is going to go in, let's see, I put that one in B tier, it'll go in C tier. And that's where they go. However, that episode was a crossover episode between Scooby-Doo and Batman. So the villains that were disguised as a Dryad and a Troll were actually, let's see, the Joker. Ooh, and here he is, the Joker, the actual Joker, and the Penguin. This is, I think, maybe where I first encountered these villains. At the very least, they're one of the earliest experiences I have with them, so there's some credit to be given there. But they're also just the Joker and the Penguin. They're classic villains. They're not classic Scooby-Doo villains. So I think that's worth at least a D tier for both of them. There's the Joker. So they're going to both get D tier just because they're good villains, but they're not Scooby-Doo villains. So D tier for both of them. Let's see. And now we've got some ghosts. Ghost of Paul Revere. Again, I love the white with just the blacked out mouth and eyes. It's a good design. I'd say the Ghost of Paul Revere is probably deserving of a, let's say B tier. B tier, it's pretty spooky, it's pretty well designed. I'm not sure why Paul Revere is the ghost they chose. I think all the ghosts here, Minuteman Ghost is kind of just a guy. Minuteman Ghost, in that case, I will put down to, I'll put D tier. There's nothing special about it. Unlike this one, unlike Paul Revere, who had those really creepy eyes, this is just normal eyes. It's not deserving of anything more than that. But the Redcoat Ghost, look at this thing. This has, like, exactly what I want to be scared of by. It's got this, like, old-timey redcoat uniform on. It's got those blacked out eyes and mouth. It's halting with the actual pose, like trying to stop them. It's a good design. I like the Redcoat Ghost quite a lot. I want to say I watched this episode growing up. I don't remember it. I'm going to say A tier for that. It's just such a spooky looking ghost. It deserves A tier. So after that, we're going to the hooded ghosts. They're just guys in hoods. That's not worth much. We are going to go F tier for them. It's just, there's nothing to say about that. They're just guys in hoods. Captain Scavenger. I want to say I remember this one. It's a little spooky. It's worth better than F tier. I wouldn't put it very high, though. Let's say it is deserving of... let's say it's deserving of D tier and move on. It's nothing special, but it's pretty creepy. So D tier. D tier for that. And then another, unfortunately, like I get that it's just the time period, so I'm not gonna say much, but it's still like, you couldn't do that today. You just could not do that today. Pretty spooky. Better than, I would say better than the other ghost, but if that's, I don't really know if that would make it go up any higher. I think it's still, oops, what'd I do to it? What'd I do to it? Where'd it go? I think it means it's still worth, oh, where did I drop it? Oh, there we go. I think it's still D tier. It should be above the other ghost, but it's not really all that spooky. This is a good design. It looks like a genie. I don't remember the episode. I like the red, just really deep red in the mouth and eyes. It's pretty spooky. Nothing special, I don't think. So Jadal is gonna go C tier. I'll say C tier. It's a pretty good design, but nothing special. Fireball McFan. It's a little creepy. The eyes are super weird. I'm not sure if that was purposefully a design or just because of the old style that they had, but it's pretty creepy. I would still say that it's probably not going to be too highly ranked, but it's worth a bit. So, Fireball McFan is going to be C tier. C tier is really starting to fill out. C and D tier. I'm surprised, but maybe not too surprised, because there are a lot of ghosts and villains in Scooby-Doo, so only a few of them can be top tier. Anything above C tier is it's a good villain. The Exterminator. I vaguely remember this one. Lauren Chumley here. I think he was based off of... Oh, what's the guy's name? He played the Phantom of the Opera. Not Dick Cheney. Lon Chaney. I think... Dick Cheney. That's so funny. I assume the Man with a Million Faces, I think he's supposed to be based on Lon Chaney. I remember this episode. That was where I first heard the phrase, the Man of a Million Faces or 1,000 Faces. I think I assumed... Is he voiced by Lon Chaney Jr. by any chance? I don't know if he is, but that'd be really other languages. And the name is a play on Lon Chaney, yeah, the Man of 1,000 Faces. Oh, Phantom of the Opera, what'd I say? Who voiced him? Other statistic, occupation, actor. I'm guessing it's not Lon Chaney Jr., but I remember this episode. It was... I know he had a bunch of disguises, so he's not going to go in F tier because that'd be a little unfair to him. As a villain. I'm gonna say C tier just because he was memorable enough for me to remember it to this day. Otherwise, it'd probably be D tier. So low C tier. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. The Windmakers are also just guys in hoods. So they are going to be pretty low. We're gonna say F tier for them. Any again, just normal people, mannequins of people, bird, hooded figures. They're not very good designs. They could be good designs, but these ones haven't been. The Green Globs. I think, again, I remember this one. This is a candy factory, if I remember correctly. They're a little spooky, but a little weird looking. I'm gonna say the green globs are probably gonna be pretty low. I guess I will put them, if I can find them, they're gonna be put in probably D tier, maybe C tier. Wow, oh, there we go. C tier. Yeah, I'll say C tier. They're a little more than just typical monster. They're a little weird, but that's not a bad thing. So we'll go C tier for them. And then the ghostly strongman. It's just a kind of a spectral looking dude. You had to scare Dick Van Dyke out of business? I love the weird crossovers they did. That's so funny. I'd still put it pretty low. I guess I'd say it's better than F tier because it is still kind of a spooky, ghostly figure, and that's more than just a human. But it's still kind of just a human. So let's put him in. Pretty Mary Sunshine, it's alright with me. Pretty Mary Sunshine. Oh, I can't find him. Oh, there we go. Let's put him in D tier. Pretty much like other ghosts of his nature. Not especially unique, just a little more than nothing. So that's a good spot for it. Let's see. Nettie Crab, I think, did I leave this one in here? I might have moved it. Might have kicked it out. Or maybe I did leave it in. It's not anything special either way. Ebenezer's Crab. Yeah. Ghost of Nettie Crab. There we go. I did leave it in. It's still pretty. It's a little spooky. It's better than F tier because it is just kind of a weird design. But it's still also just kind of a person. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should do F tier. It's not really all that unique. So I'll do F tier. It's a little better than and just the normal F tiers we've gotten here, but not much. This one's better. This one's at least kind of different. It's a little off-putting. It's worth more than F tier, definitely. It's a better design. Ebenezer Crab, I think is what the name was. So I'm going to say Ebenezer Crab. Woo! Yawn. Ebenezer Crab gets... What was his design? He has a lot of red on him. I should be able to find that better then. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to say C tier. It's a little creepy. It's got a better design than some of... Even in C tier, I think it's got a better design than, say, like the green globs. But it's still kind of basic. So I'll do C tier for Ebenezer Crab. The Ghost of King Katazuma. Oh, now that's a cool design. I like a lot of Mesoamerican designs. And this one is definitely good as a ghost. So I will say that King Katazuma is probably going to be pretty high. I would say probably B tier, but I could see an argument to be made for A tier. I'm gonna go with B tier for King Katazuma. So let's see. Man, I feel like it's getting harder the further into this I go. I should be able to just grab and go at this point. There we go. I'd say B tier. It's pretty spooky. It looks really big. I don't remember. So I'm going to give it a bit of a boost because of that. Aztec statue monster. I don't. I guess that's a kind of more of a caricature of Aztec design. And same probably goes for this one. I'm not an expert on them, but the vibe is pretty cool. This one's probably going to be C tier. Not as spooky as King Katazuma, but they're pretty cool designs. And just on a design standpoint, I think they're interesting. So I'm going to put them B and C tier respectively. Gator Ghoul. I don't know if I saved Gator Ghoul. Gator Ghoul, here it is. It's kind of just a gator. I'm going to say F tier. So yeah. F tier, it's a alligator, and that's pretty much it. The 10,000 volt ghost. Now, I do remember this from the episode, but I also... Disguise of Mr. Voltner. Come on. These are so bad. I love this show. But most people are going to remember this one from the original live-action movie, because it is in there. It's a good design. It's kind of weird. It's better than in the live-action movie. Like, way better. Because, like, look at that mouth. Look at the eyes. It's just this, like, really different orange glow to it. I'm gonna say this is an A-tier design. It's a pretty shocking look. So I'm gonna say A-tier. It's worth it for that one. The Headless Horseman. Elwood Crane, of course. I would use Crane. So it's just a Headless Horseman. Pretty basic design. It's not worth much. I'll say D tier, and leave it at that. Headless Horseman. Ghost of Merlin. It's a wizard dude. He's pretty low in my regards. It's a wizard, so it's better than that. I'll say D tier. It's better than just a guy, but it's still not worth much, I would say. And the Black Knight, it's better. I think that's a little spookier. It's not original even to Scooby-Doo, because we've got the knight from What a Night for a Night. I'm going to say C tier. Not as good as the original knight, but still better than Merlin from that episode. The Ghost of Dr. Coffin. It's a good design. I like it, like that doctor suit. It's got a weird face, and the green eyes are off-putting. It's a pretty good design. I think, actually, the Ghost of Dr. Coffin is probably gonna get a better score than I would have expected out of it. Because it's just a little creepy. And that's a good... I want my Scooby-Doo villains to be creepy, you know? So that's what I'm looking for in a Scooby-Doo villain. And I'm glad to see a little creepy of a design. So Dr. Coffin, I'm going to put in B tier. It's got just a weird look to it. That's what I like. That's what I'm looking for. So no-face zombie. It's a robot. There's not much to it. I'd say it's better than F tier. But it's probably D tier still. So D tier for the no-face zombie. A lot of these I will say I don't have a history with. I don't remember the no-face zombie. So I'd say it's probably... A lot of these probably would be worth more if I just remembered them. If they were from episodes that I watched more consistently. Gorilla, I think I deleted the gorilla suit from this because it's a disguise, but it's also just supposed to be a gorilla. There's not much to say about it, so it would get F tier. If I see it, I'll put it in F tier, but I'm pretty sure I removed it. So, let's move on. Wait, did I remove it? I thought I saw it just a second ago. Nah, let's move on. If I see it, I'll put it up in F tier, because that's where it belongs. So, I'm gonna laugh every time I see one of these things, because one of these designs is what I meant when I say things. Because they're going for it. They're just going for it. Spooky, better than F tier, D tier. That's about it. That's all I can say for Mamba Wamba. Where is Mamba Zombie? A little more desiccated than the zombie from the Which is Which episode. Not really that much more interesting, though. I guess I'd say it's a... Where did I put the zombie? I'd say it's a lateral move. It's C tier. I'd say C tier. Yeah. Better than Mamba Wamba, but not really all that much more interesting. It's definitely spookier. I could see if I remember that episode, I would probably have put it higher. But I don't, and its design is a little... I would say it's probably... Where did I'd say it's better than the Which is Which zombie, because it is a little creepier, but not much more than that. So Zombie Lila, just a zombified person, I think, or the disguise of a zombified person. I'm going to say F tier. It's not that special. The disguise of Lila. Wow, it sounds like a great disguise. Yeah, I'd say just F tier. It's just a zombified version of Lila, so... Demon. I like this demon. I think I remember this one. I remember it being... Like, doesn't it scream in a really creepy way? I think it does. I don't necessarily know if that's right, but either way, it's a pretty good design. I would say that the demon... I'd say it deserves A tier. I'm going to say A tier for the demon. It's a pretty spooky looking demon. A little classic, but like I said before, that's not a bad thing. So I'm going to say A tier for the demon. Tamuku the Ghost Bull, Ghost Rider in the Sky vibes. So I like it, but it's just kind of a bull. I'd say it's worth more than F tier. It's still C tier. It's just not that special. It's a little creepy. So that's where I'm going to say it goes. Medicine Man Ghost, another one of those designs. It's just not that special, especially at this point. I didn't realize Scooby-Doo did that so many times. Medicine Man design. Let's see. It's probably going to go F tier. I'm probably going to say F tier for the Medicine Man because it's just another witch doctor sort of design. Witch doctor design. A lot of white. I'll look for white. So, yeah, it's probably... I'm going to say F tier because that's really all it deserves. It's not really anything special. So I don't think it deserves a D tier. So I'm going to say F tier for the Medicine Man. And a talking bull. It's a little weird. It's a little funny. I don't know if I would say it's worth anything higher than an F tier. Even though it is more than just a bull. It's still kind of pretty basic. And not in a good way like some of the other ones. So I'm going to say, if I can find it, I'm going to say F tier. I'm going to say F tier because it's just not that special. And there we go. Talking bull. Demon shark. It's not even as interesting as the other ones. The other shark men were kind of spooky, and I thought their arms were funny, and their legs were funny. This one just looks like what you would think of, and I don't mean that in a good way. There it is. So I'm going to put this one... Where did I put the other ones? I put them high, I think. Yeah, in B tier. I'd say probably D tier. It's not really worth anything. It's a little better than F tier. Demon Shark is going D tier. Captain Pescado. It's just a ghostly dude. A little creepy. I guess I'd say it's worth D tier in that case. But it's still not really all that interesting to me. I think, in that case, D tier is pretty fitting for it. There we go. There it is. So yeah, D tier. D tier for Captain Pescado. Octopus Monster. It's kind of weird looking. It's kind of weird looking. I could vibe with it. It's better than the other one. It's better than Captain Pescado. So I will say this is probably a C tier. It's an interesting design. It's a little creepy looking. I think that deserves it a C tier. And a kelp monster. Oh, now that's spooky. See, that's a spooky design. It's all just like another slime monster, so I don't know if I want to give it higher than a C tier, but it's a good design. I like this one. I think I'll put it in B tier. It's got a good design to it, even if it's... maybe I'm just a sucker for that, like, hulking, ghostly face. I like it. I like the kelp monster there. Rambling Ghost, it's a football-playing ghost. I don't think that's worth much. It's a little spooky. It's a little different. I'll say C tier. I think it's a middling one, not quite D tier. I'll say C tier for the Rambling Ghost. Now we have a bunch of Phantoms. There's the Vanilla Technicolor Phantom. Oops, too far. The Chocolate Technicolor Phantom. And as you can imagine, the Strawberry Technicolor Phantom. The same thing, but pink. So, these are all pretty basic. I liked some of those kind of more basic designs. I put A tier for these ones. But these are nothing special anyway. So I'm going to have to say, let's see. I'm going to have to say... Did I save these ones? Oh, there's Strawberry. I'm going to put all of these in... I'm going to say... I like that there's the kind of ice cream vibe to it. I'm going to say C tier for all of them. I could see putting them in D tier, but they're just not that much more interesting. Oh, there. Than any of the other monsters. So I think C tier is fitting, and we're going to go from there. There's Vanilla. That's C tier. I'm going to put them all... Wow, they must have been in the same scene they took that image from. What did the chocolate one look like? Chocolate was this one. So let me look for one going the other direction, and there we go. So yeah, they're all going to go C tier. Basic, kind of spooky, nothing special. And now we have the ghost of Benedict Arnold, the most horrifying ghost so far. Yeah, no, it's I guess that it's a ghost and not just a person, but it's still just a person. It's still just a person. F tier. It deserves F tier. It's nothing special. William Demont, it's a ghost. I would not have known this was a ghost if you didn't say Ghost of William Demont. It's F tier. Let's see if I can find them. Play along. See if you can find all of the monsters before I do. You'll probably do a good job. Pretty Mary Sunshine. Now that song's going to be playing in my head 24/7. Oh, there he is. Yeah, F tier for him too. And the Ghost of Major Andre. He's a little glowy, but I think that's just because of the low quality from the original series. Yep, so he's also getting F tier. Let's see. Viking Ghosts. They're a bit better than normal, just Vikings, so I'd say it's worth a bit more than just just any normal Viking would get. I'd still say that's not great, but it's kind of spooky. It's got a vibe to it. I would say... I thought Viking would be low. I'd say probably D tier? Maybe C tier. High D, low C. I'll think about it. Probably... Man, I hope this isn't too boring. I'm gonna be looking more than anything else. I thought it'd be just like, oh, here, let me scroll down and find him, and instead it's like, okay, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Man, I think at this rate, everybody's found him already, and I'm just scrolling back and forth, mindlessly wondering, where could he be? Where could he be? I miss him. I miss Viking Ghosts. I miss seeing his smile in the morning. and having his scream be the last thing I hear at night. Viking Ghost, wherefore art thou, Viking Ghost? I still can't find him. Maybe I deleted him instead. Where would Viking Ghost be? I could have also just forgotten to include him. So I might just have to skip Viking Ghost. I really don't see him. Do you see him? I don't see him. Where would Viking Ghost be? I thought V would be, Viking Ghost. It should be low, but there he is. So yeah, no, I'm gonna say C tier. It's pretty spooky, but it's not that much more unique than a lot of the other ones. Okay, Gramps the Vamp. I don't remember this one. It's a pretty basic Dracula design. So it's gonna be low because of that. There's so many vampires in Scooby-Doo. Oh, I'm losing it. I am losing it. Man, Gramps the Vamp. He is a pretty basic vampire. Literally, I couldn't imagine him being very high. I'll say D tier. It's just not interesting to me. It's just not doing anything for me. Oh, now here we go. This is the Pterodactyl Ghost. You'll probably remember this one from the movie. This is a much better design than the one in the movie. It's a little weird. It's a little off-putting. It's more than just a pterodactyl. It's like a wingsuit. It's cool. It's cool. I like the Pterodactyl Ghost. So I will say this one deserves A tier. This one deserves A tier. I could see an argument be made for S tier, but it wasn't especially terrifying to me. But it's a good design. It's a good monster. Pterodactyl Ghost gets A tier. Phantom of Milo Booth. Milo Booth, that's a little creepy. That's a nice design. I would say, maybe I'm riding the high of the Pterodactyl Ghost. I'll say, does it deserve B tier? No, I say C tier. It's pretty spooky, but it's still kind of just a guy with red eyes and vampire teeth, so I'll do C tier. Phantom Racer. That's a bit spooky. I like that it's more than just a normal ghost. Phantom Racer is still kind of a basic idea. I'll say C tier for this one. It's not bad, but it's not special. C tier is where it goes. Phantom Racer. The Ghost of Witch McCoy. Oh, it's a pretty spooky witch. Those eyes are pretty creepy. I'd say it's worth a bit more than some of the other witches we have seen thus far, but it's still not very great. I'll put this one in C tier as well. It's a good Ozark witch looking design. It had a zombie as well. That's just a guy with red eyes. That's just a guy with red eyes. That's F tier. I'm sorry, zombie. I get you're a zombie and not just a guy with red eyes, but you're a guy with red eyes. You are a guy with red eyes, and I'm prejudiced against red-eyed people. Especially myself when I get pink eye, because that hurts. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Button. Who's got the button? There he goes. There he goes. Yeah, F tier. He's not a good design. He's a pretty basic... Not even a good for a zombie. Next, we have Futuristic Monster. And if you thought Futuristic Monster and it looked like this, then you're mad. Because no person looks at this and goes, yeah, that looks like it's from the future. It looks like a bug monster. I don't like it because of that. I just wish it wasn't called Futuristic Monster. Maybe something happens in the episode that makes it more futuristic than it appears in the image, but I don't care for it at all. It's weird, but a bit much. I'm saying D tier. I don't like it. I personally don't like it. It's getting D tier. The Creepy Heap from the Deep. This is a bit weirder of a design, in a good way. I think that it is probably going to be C tier. It's not especially scary, but it's a good design. And then Soulless Captain Clemens. Oh, that's a little spooky. I'm going to say Soulless Captain Clemens also is It's just a guy, but he's got a weird design. I don't know what he does in the episode. I'm gonna say C tier for him. He just has this creepy element to him that really deserves better than a D tier, so I'll say C tier for him. Now, the Willowa. Oh, this one's creepy. This one's got this, like, weirdness to it. Especially if this is, like, a giant. That's a good design. I don't remember the episode. Let me see what it says about it. Physical appearance. Giant owl. Yeah. No, this is a good one. This is a really creepy villain. A monster. Like, I really like it. The Willowa. I'm going to put the Willowa at A tier. I don't remember if I remember this episode. I want to say I do. And I think if I do remember it, the way it acts in the episode is actually really creepy too. So I'm going to say A for it. And it comes with some owlmen. They're pretty weird. It's better than just hooded villains, so I'm going to say C tier for them. There we go. Yeah, no, I like the villains in that episode. Especially the Willowa. That's creepy. I like it. Alright. Here is another monster from the live-action movie, the Skeleton Men, and they noticeably are different from their design in the movie. I don't know what was up with the movie, why it was so weird. I grew up with the movie. I like some aspects of the movie. I preferred the second one over the first one. And when I say the movie, I've been referring to the second one. I hope I made that clear when I first started talking about it. I don't remember. But either way, it was Scooby-Doo 2, when they have to, like, when all the suits get stolen out of the museum. I always preferred the Scooby-Doo 2 over the original. Yeah, you know, it was just, I like these designs. These are getting B tier. They're pretty weird. The one big eye, they're more than just skeleton men. They're creepy monster skeleton men, and I like it. I appreciate it for that. This is weird. It's a snow beast, but unlike the snow monster from earlier, it's a dinosaur. A furry dinosaur. Not in that way. Not in that way. No, it's a little fuzzy looking. I'm gonna say B tier. It's a little spooky. It doesn't do much for me particularly, but it's a weird design. I like the furry looking T-Rex design. It's more unique than just a regular dinosaur, so I'd say it's deserving of B tier. So next we have the Ghost Witch of Old Salem. I like the purple and green. It's pretty weird in that regard. It's, again, probably better than some of the other witches we've seen in this listing. But it's still not much. I'm still going to say C tier for it. That's probably about where it deserves, I'd say. Tar Monster! Again, another one from the movie. I love the Tar Monster. It's just got this one glass eye, the red mouth, and the goop all over it. I'm a sucker for these designs. I really am. I'm going to put the Tar Monster... let's see where I can find it. There. I'm putting the Tar Monster, and this might be a little controversial, I'm putting the Tar Monster in S tier. It's a good design. I love the big eye. I watched the episode as a kid. It's a good monster. It's a really good monster, and I like it a lot. So I'm going to say the Tar Monster deserves S tier. And yeah, it's another basic one. But I think that when they do basic really well, they do basic really well. It's a bit less basic than, say, a mummy or a robot, but it's still pretty... I like it a lot. Here's a Scottish ghost. A little creepy, a little weird. I'd say this one's probably... I like that it has kind of more old-fashioned clothing. I guess I'll give it C tier. I feel like every time I get a really good design, I'm just in a high, so I want to give other monsters higher rankings too. But I like the clothing. I like the red beard. It's pretty spooky. I think it deserves a C tier. And then the Loch Ness Monster. Just the Loch Ness Monster. Again, not really original. A little creepy, pretty basic design. What you would expect out of a Loch Ness Monster, I'll give it D tier. It's not worth much more than that. Old Iron Face. I remember Old Iron Face. I like this design. I really like the design. I like the clothing. I love the Iron Face. This one, for me, was a pretty good one. Old Iron Face is going to be ranked pretty high. Let's see. Oh, I thought I saw him. I didn't see him. I did not see him. And no, oh, there we go. I found him. He's getting A tier. I love the design. I think he's pretty spooky. The episode was a good one. And I think it's worth A tier. I remember Jaguaro too. I remember liking this episode a lot, but Jaguaro as a monster just isn't that. It's a little too interesting. Like it's got like a gorilla or a Bigfoot body with a jaguar head. It's a little weird, but they didn't mash the designs well together. So I'm gonna say Jaguaro gets a C. And it's gone. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna say it gets a C. And just move on. Feline creature. Yeah. Feline creature. Mantis. Yeah, Mantis. There's some basic designs. They serve their purpose, but they're not especially interesting. That is one Gene Simmons design of a phantom. Obviously that's what they're going for, but why, I'm not sure. So kiss me, I guess, because that's a really weird design. Interesting. I wonder what the concept. Oh wait, maybe what's the episode like? Just gonna Diabolical Disc Demon. Do they meet up with Jimmy Lewis? Wait. Oh, okay. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, no, it's a little different for a Scooby-Doo monster, but I'm not sure if it's worth a C tier because it's not that interesting. I guess I'll say D tier. Moon Monster. That's cool. That's a different monster for a Scooby-Doo monster. I'm not sure. I assume it has something to do with the episode. I'm not sure what makes it a moon monster, if it was spawned by the moon or if it like comes from the moon. But I like the design well enough. It's a little weird. It serves its purpose and it serves it pretty well. I'll say C tier for it. Pretty middle of the road, but not bad. Let's see. Ghostly Gondolier. I like this one. It's not what I would have expected out of Ghostly Gondolier with the face, but it looks pretty intimidating. So the Ghostly Gondolier, I'm going to rank pretty well. Where is it? There we go. I'm going to say B tier. It's a good design. I like it. I think it's spooky. And that's what's important, you know? Ghost of Juan Carlos, that is also just a guy. So he's getting F tier. He's getting F tier, and we're moving on. Anthos. Now that's a weird design. And I like it. It's weird in a good way. It's not especially unique, but I like it, so it'll get C tier. And for the last of the new Scooby-Doo movies, or though that was a Scooby-Doo show. That was probably why. For the last of the Scooby-Doo show, the Beast of Bottomless Lake. It looks like a lake monster. It's pretty spooky, serves its purpose. So I think you know where that's going to end it up. Where it's going to wind up because of that. It is a C tier. And now, we're moving on to everybody's favorite, Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo. Alright, the first villain is the Blue Scarab, which, a comic book character, that's Fitz. Is there a comic book character called the Blue Scarab? Or is that the Blue... Oh, that's the Blue Beetle. I think that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know anything about that superhero, but it's fine. This isn't very interesting. It's more than just a guy, so D tier. It is a D tier if I've ever seen a D tier before. It's okay, it's not bad, it's just not that special. Even Anthros was cooler than this, so we're gonna go with D tier for the Blue Scarab and move on. Night Ghoul. Oh, that's creepy. That's creepy. Is that supposed to be like Jack the Ripper, but as a ghost? I like that design. I like that design a lot. Where is it? Where is the... So this is Night Ghoul. Night Ghoul. Where he be? Night Ghoul. There we go. This is a good design. This is good. I love the blacked out eyes, but with the red pupil, like the red iris? I don't remember what it's called. It's a good design. I'm going to give this one A tier. It's really scaring me just by being it. And I think that does it really well. I like it a lot. Whereas this is a little not scary. It's an alien, and that's all it will ever be. Yeah. It's going to get a D tier. Better than just a person, better than just an animal, but it's just an alien. Oh, this one's creepy. This one's a little weird. The Neon Phantom. It's not what I would think when I hear the words Neon Phantom, but it also looks like something that would never have been designed in that way if it wasn't on Scooby-Doo. And I think there's something to be said about that, because that's kind of what makes Scooby-Doo special. I'm going to give this a B tier. It's weird in a good way, and I like that. I like it a lot. So next we have the Snake Demon. It's just kind of a humanoid snake monster. Okay, so it's just a little basic. I would say it's probably D tier. I'm going to say D tier. It's not really all that scary to me. It's a little weird, but I'd say a little underwhelming. So I'd say D tier is probably the best fit for Snake Demon. After Snake Demon comes Sky Skeleton. And whereas this skeleton was kind of ghostly in its face and appearance, this is just a skeleton. It's just supposed to be like a little creepy skeleton guy, but it's just not that weird or different. I'm gonna say it's better than a dude. D tier. I'm not sure what makes it Sky Skeleton. Not by the design, at least. Dragon Beast. Oh, that's not what I would have anticipated out of a Dragon Beast. It looks more like a hybrid between a dragon and a tiger. It's just not that interesting. D tier. Devil Bear. Devil Bear. It's a bear and a devil. And that's about it. I might have gotten rid of him too. There he goes. Yeah, D tier. It's just a little basic and not in a good way. Sea Beast of the Aztecs. That's a little weird, a little creepy. Not sure what makes it Aztec, but maybe, again, I'm sure these things are explained in the episode. I just don't know based on the design, and I don't know the episode. So a little weird, a little different, but I'd say it's better than D tier. I'd say it's a C tier. It's designed a little creepy, but it's just not that interesting or unique, so we're going to leave it there. Lady Vampire of the Bay. She would look like a normal person if she didn't have fangs. And that just doesn't really make her all that interesting. It's another D tier. So far, I'm wondering if maybe Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo first series had the worst monsters, because all of these are so uninteresting to me. Oh, but this is interesting. That's a cool design. I'll let the screen clear out. Look at this thing. It's a star creature, and it looks like this is what I would have thought when I heard the word futuristic monster. Like, this is weird and different, and I like it. That's a good design, and I was just knocking Scooby and Scrappy-Doo. This is going to be an A tier for me. There were a couple of good Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo monsters, just based on design, because again, I didn't watch too much Scrappy-Doo growing up. Shadow Creature. It's creepy. It's interesting, but not much of either. That's gonna give it not a great score. I'm gonna say D tier. A little weird, but that's about it. Jeremiah Pratt, the ghost of Jeremiah. It's a sea ghost, sea monster. He's a little weird. He's a little spooky. He's not much of either. I guess I'd say D tier. At least he's more than just a dude, but he's still pretty much just a dude. So not very high. The Great Haldane. Oh, like, look! Every now and then, Scooby and Scrappy-Doo comes out with a really nice design. Most of them aren't good, but this is just weird. It's got, like, this big connected beard-looking thing, and the mouth is spooky, and the, like, cheekbones are blacked out, too. I like this design. I'm not sure if I want to give it A tier, but it's a good design. It's a nice, scary-looking monster, and that's what I want out of these things. I'm going to give it the Great Haldane. I will be giving it I'm going to give it a B tier. It's going to be a high B tier, but it's still going to be B tier. It's close to an A tier, though, because that is a good design. I like it a lot. It's spooky, it's weird, and that's what I want out of a Scooby-Doo monster. Then we've got the Minotaur. Yeah, that's a Minotaur. That's a Minotaur, all right. And it's just a Minotaur. It's just a Minotaur. It's not a unique Scooby-Doo monster. It's not a special monster. It's just a Minotaur. That is going to give it, if I can find it, a very low score. I will probably end it up with a B. I think it doesn't do much for me. It's going to be a D. There we go. Yeah, D tier, not very good. Sorry. Anyway. Yeah, not very special. It's fine, but that's about it. The Ransom of Scooby Chief. There was no monster in this one, and it looks like the villains are just two dudes. So, we're going to skip that one. Close Encounter with a Strange Kind. There are some villains, and they're aliens, so they're going to be ranked, and they're just the most basic, and not even scary aliens, just weird. Little guys, green guys, what you would expect from a cartoon alien. Sylvester. His name's just Sylvester. I like his design. He's a little regal in appearance. So he's not just he seems to be just kind of a normal vampire. Nothing too unique, nothing too scary. Sylvester's gonna be pretty lowly ranked. But I think it'll be D tier. Just not that interesting of monsters. And again, Scooby and Scrappy-Doo with kind of the low rankings. The Chinese Food Factory Burglar. And it's a cool design. It's a cool mask. It's just a person in a mask, but at least the mask is interesting. I guess I'd say that's worth more than an F, but it's not worth more than a D. So we're moving on from that. Arabian Magician. Alright. It's a pretty basic looking one. I'd say this is probably F tier. It looks just like a guy. And that's about it. So, Catman. Yeah, that's a Catman. It's pretty weird. It's got a Asian design going on. It's pretty cool. I like it. It's different, and in a good way, but not that much more interesting than any of the other monsters, so I guess I'll give it let's say a high C tier, and move on from there. Stowaways, Sailor, and Shark. That's just a guy, so he'd be getting an F. Mummy. It's a mummy, all right. I'll say this much: if I didn't have such a fear of the mummy from the early original series, I would probably put him in like a D or maybe even F tier. So I can't really tell you how creepy this mummy is, but it's just a mummy to me. So he's going to get D tier. More than just a person, not very special. Hang in there, Scooby-Doo. That, I think, was this. They repackaged some episodes. I'm not sure if there's any difference between this and what we saw earlier. So, that's fine. Bing Bong the Monster. Yeah, that's giant ape-man King Kong design. Bing Bong King Kong, that clicked. Yeah, not interesting at all. It's a big ape monster. It's getting D tier. And that's it. That's pretty much all I can say about that. That just had a person. This had a caveman. Yeah, that's a caveman. I think he's in here somewhere. But he's not very special. So he's not getting a high ranking. I'm actually going to say F tier for this caveman. That's pretty much all it deserves. It's just a caveman. Pirate, I'm not sure. I assume he's here somewhere. But he isn't very interesting. Here it is. Yeah, it's just a pirate. It's just a caveman. They're getting pretty low scores. Bull, this is just an actual bull. It's F tier. I don't think he's in the list. Invisible ghosts. So I can't rank him based on design, but it's pretty funny. It's worth a bit more than an F tier. I'd actually say I'm surprised it took Scooby-Doo this long to do an Invisible Ghost, considering how cheap they were on animation. I'm gonna say this is a C tier. It's a classic villain. Again, not original, but it's unique enough, so I'll give it a C. Nazrat of the Jungle. I might have taken him out because he's just kind of a guy. Let's see if I have him anywhere. He also doesn't seem like that much of a villain type. Maybe more of like a misunderstanding where he acts as a villain for a while, but then is like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to attack you. I thought you were endangering the forest. Stuff like that. So if he's on here, he's going to be ranked pretty low. Probably F tier, but I'm not sure if I have him on here. I might have removed him just because he's just a guy. And oh, there he is. F tier. Goodbye, Nazrat. I might have removed Lion because I think I did remove Lion because it's just a lion. I think I left Pythor in here, but Pythor is just a python. It'll get F tier. And if I see Lion, I'll also move it to F tier. And Trumpo, which is literally just an elephant. It doesn't even have like a special face design or anything. It's just an elephant. So it's getting to be an F tier as well. Again, I don't know if I have it in here. If I see it, I'll remove it. In the meantime, we're going to move on. Although I should check for Lion's... Oh, I did see Lion's design. I didn't see if there was in here. But again, if I see Lion or Trumpo, they're going into F tier. And we're moving on from there. Let's see. Killer Crunch. That's just a dude, so he gets F tier. I know I removed him. Globby works for the Swamp Witch. A little creepy, a little weird, kind of goofy. I'll say D tier. It's not just a dude, so it's not an F tier, but it's not really all that interesting. Swamp Witch. That's going to put it. It's a witch. It's a witch. I'll give it also D tier. It's pretty basic. Knight. It's I think I might have removed this one too. Nope, there it is. It's just a knight in armor. This one is just a knight in armor. I'm comfortable putting this in F tier. I like a guy. It's the unnamed owner of a castle in Scotland. He's just a guy in armor. That's not even a monster. I think there's a serious difference between him and the other knights we saw earlier. Especially, yeah, like C tier, B tier, but this is just a guy in armor. And in a negative way compared to the other guys who are just guys in armor, I would say he's worth an F tier. Waxmaster. This is another vampire. Proprietor of Wax World. Interesting. He's a weird looking dude. I'll give him D tier. He's not that interesting. I'd probably put him higher if I watched the episode. Yawn. But I don't know it. So, now we've got Scooby in Wonderland. So, yeah, that's the caterpillar. And he's not original to Scooby-Doo, but he's a villain. Technically, I'd say he's a monster. And that's not going to get him much better of a score than any other of these kind of basic monsters. In fact, it's hampered down because it's not original. I don't know where he is. He should be pretty high up there. What does he look like? Red-bodied? He is... Oh, that's good. Oh, wait. I think he's further down, actually. Yeah, there he is. I'll say D tier. The next one was the Cheshire Cat, who is just nowhere near as good as Disney's. He is going to be ranked... I'm tempted to give this an F tier. I don't like that design nearly as much as I like it in Disney's. I think it deserves an F tier. It's not a particularly scary design. It just looks like a mean cat. I'm gonna give it an F tier. And the Queen of Hearts, it's the Queen of Hearts. If you've seen the Queen of Hearts before, you're gonna be a little disappointed. It's just kind of a person. It's F tier for the Queen of Hearts. Orderly is just a person. A lava monster. I like this design. That's a little creepy. That's a little weird. It's like a big stone, one of those kind of porous rock, sort of volcanic rock monster is kind of what I'm getting the vibe from that design. And I like the red eyes for the lava. It's a B tier. This is worth a B tier. It's nice and spooky, and I like it. The smoke in the background doesn't hurt. That's just a dog and a bear, so F tier. Alaskan monster. Well, it looks like the combination between a horse and a walrus. It's not all that spooky, but it's interesting. I'll give it a C tier. It's unique enough. I like it, but it's not that interesting, so I think it's a C tier. Rocky Maximus. Oh, he gets an F tier. I know I saw him earlier. He gets an F tier because it's just a dude. Swamp Monster is a swamp monster. That's a crocodile with a fin. Yeah, so that's a crocodile with a fin. I guess it's worth more than an F, but not by much. That's a chef. That's a dog. Now, okay, Shaggy Rogers werewolf. So this isn't that interesting, but I actually just personally love it when Shaggy becomes a werewolf. Because, you know, they're hunting monsters all the time. So having him become a werewolf or having a werewolf version of him is just fun to me. And I like it. So I'm going to give him a pretty high ranking. It's not my favorite Shaggy werewolf design. But it's just interesting. I like the Shaggy werewolves. I'm going to put him in C tier. So, and I just know I like Werewolf Shaggy. I think it's interesting. Let's see. Did I have Rock Monster? Oh, I did have Rock Monster. So, Rock Monster, I like the design well enough. They look like stalagmites. I think that's the right one. So, they're a little unique. They're not very common. You don't see that, especially in a Scooby-Doo world. So, I like them. I do. I think they get the job done. They're not all that special. But, let's see where Rock Monster would be. Rock Monster. There we go. You are going to... I like Rock Monster. I don't know if it's worth B tier, though. I'm going to have to put it in C tier, but it's a high C tier. I'm gonna put it in high C tier because it's a good design. I like Rock Monster. They're interesting. Giant Bat is a giant bat. It's better than just a bat because then it would be F tier. So D tier. Oh, Flying Monkey. This is from the Wizard of Oz special event. It's a flying monkey. I guess that makes it better than a regular monkey. D tier. The Wicked Witch of the North by Southeast. Funny name. Not that interesting of a design. So you are getting actually probably F tier. You know, it's just a witch. It's just a basic design. Nothing really special about it. I'm gonna put it in F tier. I really am, because it's just not that different. It's not that interesting. It's not that spooky. F tier. The Phantom of the Sewers has a desiccated mouth, red eyes. I like the hood. It's not that special. Not bad though. C tier. It is a C tier monster, and we're moving on. Rawhide Red, robot gunslinger, just like the last one. Where did I put the last one? D tier? Yeah, I think that's fair. Rawhide Red is getting D tier. So, moving on. Rawhide Red had the Robot Master, which is just a dude, F tier. Pretty sure he's not in there. Alien! Big Nose Alien. Conehead Alien. Not that interesting. But maybe I'd say a bit more unique than some of the other monsters. I'll give it C tier. I think it's worth more than some of the other ones. That's about it. I don't think I included the Alien Pod clones because their design is just the same as the other guys, as Scooby, Shaggy, and Scrappy. So I'm going to... I don't think they're here. I'm going to say they probably would be F tier anyway then. Guard, Elephant, and Tiger, you're not going to be included. Bandit and Wilbur, they're just people. These are all F tier. Pleasure Island Man, F tier. Pirate. Villain, for some reason. Great Grandpa Scooby. Kind of funny. I'm not sure why he's a Union soldier, but I like the design. I think it's kind of funny. Maybe not a good villain. I'm not sure why he's a villain. Let's go with D tier. A little interesting, a little weird, but not much of either. So D tier. Centaur. Okay, Centaur. Atlantis Centaur. I like the design. So he's got that armor. He's got the helmet. He's got a red beard. It's interesting. It's different. It's not worth much, but I will say it is C tier worthy. C tier is a good spot for it. I like it. And moving on. Merlin, Magician, typical Merlin design. That's not worth much. There were a lot of them in Scooby-Doo, apparently. There we go. I want to put him next to the witch here. I'm going to say F tier. It's not that interesting. It's not that unique. It's not that different. There's Jasper, which is the pet frog of Merlin. If he's in here, he's F tier because I think it's just a frog. Yeah, I don't see Jasper. So, F tier for him, and we're moving on. More Alien. Did I include him? I don't think I included this one. Yep. So he's cool. I like this one. I like it. Looks robotic, different from the other aliens we've seen so far. I like the blue and purple. It's a good combo. It's a weird combo, but it's that highlights it, I think. Yellow eyes, robotic looking mouth. I like this one. I think this is probably worth a B tier. I could see A tier. I'm going to say it's a high B tier, kind of middle to high B tier. Not quite where I would say A tier should be, but not bad. I like it. This one had no villain, no monster. There's a dragon. Let's see if I included that one. Dragon. Yes, I did. This is a dragon. Not very unique, not very interesting. So D tier. I like dragons. That's pretty basic. Oh, leprechaun. Yeah, it's a leprechaun. And I don't like it. It looks so weird. I'm gonna say D tier. He's a leprechaun for sure. That's a weird looking dude. Marvo the Magician, which is just a guy. I don't know if I have him here. He is, yeah, F tier. That's just a guy. Madame Olga. Just another witch. I've seen a billion of them. She's getting F tier too. The Red Baron and T-Rex. I don't know if the Red Baron is shown. Oh, this I don't think I have either of them because this was just in their dreams. Maybe it's just a dinosaur. Now these would both be Fs. Not worth anything. It was a dream episode, so that's where it goes. Toy Gorilla. A little weird. I like that it's mechanic. You don't see that a whole lot in Scooby-Doo. So I'm going to say Toy Gorilla is probably worth more than a D tier. I'm going to say C tier. At least it's a bit more unique for Scooby-Doo than just regular gorillas have been. I like it. Well enough. C tier. Plutonian. That's creepy looking. I like it. It's a little weird. Maybe a bit standard for the time period. Like, that was kind of what they designed aliens to be like. But I also like that it's just Scrappy-Doo as an alien. I kind of like it. I'm not sure if it's worth a B tier, but it's not a bad design. And again, compared to some of the aliens we've seen, it's much more unique. So I don't see it actually. Real quick, gonna run through them all, and I'm really surprised I didn't have him higher, if I have him at all. Ah, there we go. Found him. Yeah, I'd say... How does he compare to some of these other designs? Not quite as good as some of the higher ones here, but not as bad as some of the other ones. I'd say middle C tier. Kind of higher on this, kind of on the higher side, but not that special. I'd say C tier is fair for it. That looks like a dude. He probably turns into a werewolf, considering his last name is Werner Wolf. Like, he probably is a villain in some way, but whatever. Vampire Foreman. Look at that dude. Just standing on the platform. And why is he a vampire foreman? I will never know. I'll never know. Unless I watch the episode. Yeah, he's a vampire and he's a foreman. And he's a D tier. Because that's just a guy. It's not just a guy. It's a vampire, but it's funny. It's weird. I like it. It's kind of weird. Gardner. Why is he a pumpkin head? He's a bit weird. He's a bit different. I put him in C tier. I like the design. But it's kind of just a dude. Carnivorous plants. Yeah, I've seen carnivorous plants before. And those certainly look like them. And I'm going to put them in D tier. This was just a football team. So they'd be getting F tier if I had them in the list. I don't think I do. There's a Bigfoot. There's a Bigfoot. That's all he is, and yeah, I'm hard pressed to even put him in D tier because it's so basic. Scooby and the Beanstalk. There's a giant. He looks like the Beanstalk giant you would come to expect, so D tier. And moving on, giant. Those were people. This is a person. Miss Higgins. This is just a person. Catfish. Oh, I think I have the catfish burglar in the list because it's a person in a mask, and that's what a lot of these other ones are. It's not that interesting. It's a little weird. Not that interesting. I still think I'm gonna say F tier. It's just not that much. There's just not much special to it. But I'll give it an F. I'll give it F tier. I think that's about what you would expect. Movie Monster Menace, Gargoyle. Did I include these ones? Let me look for the Gargoyle. Because there we go. So, I like this design. I like this design that almost looks like a gear around his neck. It's a pretty typical gargoyle, but it's pretty spooky. You don't see a lot of gargoyles in Scooby-Doo, apparently. I haven't seen any others in this listing. It's a pretty good design. I'm going to give it a B tier. It's not that special, but it does things better than just some of the other monsters. So I give it a B tier. It's a pretty basic one. Medusa, that's a pretty basic Medusa, and not in a good way. I'll give Medusa I'll probably give her D tier. I like some Medusa designs. This isn't one of them. So D tier for Medusa. Sea creature, I'm probably going to put this in D tier too, because it's just a sea creature. I liked the design of the gargoyle, even if it is basic. But these, I just don't care for their designs. I just don't think they're that interesting. Octopus monster. And yeah, that's an octopus monster. And it's a big purple octopus, so we're giving this also D tier. And this also comes with a Bigfoot, and it looks just like the last Bigfoot we had. It's really not that special. Right? Yeah, the last one was D tier. It's lateral to that, so D tier. Rocco was a dude, so you're not getting picked. The Slam Dunkers are an actual basketball team, so they're all F tiers. I think these are all F tiers. Moose, that's a dude, so F tier. There were a lot of just people being villains in Scooby and Scrappy-Doo, huh? That's disappointing, actually. That's a little disappointing, I'll say. Slam, there's a Moose, Vendetta. Vendetta is just a creepy looking woman, but just a woman. Slime Boy! Look at that, Slime Boy. Yeah, that's a Slime Boy. You know what? I'm gonna give it C tier. It's pretty basic, but kind of funny. I like the design. It's a Slime Boy. That's what you'd come to expect. Fingers Malone person. Jasmine and Genie Poo. She's a genie, so she should be on here. Yeah, there she is. Whew. Let's give her... I guess she's worth more than an F tier. Let's put her in D tier. Not that interesting. Where Genie Poo is a dog. So, a Genie Poodle. What a unique name. F tier. I don't think I have Genie Poo in the listing. Aliens. These are cartoon people-looking aliens. So, why are they at a roller rink? Ice rink. Why? Okay. All things aside, why is the ice of the ice rink go right up to the counter? Don't you need to get your skates in advance so then you can get onto the ice, as opposed to getting on the ice and then going up to the skate rental? Like, why would they design it this way? I know I'm thinking way too deep into that, but why would they design it that way? So anyway, I kind of like that they're a bit more interesting, like they're kind of people-looking design for being aliens. So I think I'm going to give them a bit of a better score. Not a great one, but a bit of a better score. Let's go C tier. They are more unique than just... They're kind of generic alien, but generic alien. So not bad. We will move on. Dog Napper. Cat Lady. Yeah, that's a cat lady. And she is a D tier design. So, yeah. Cat Lady, Buster and Bull, I think that was people or animals. Wonga. Oh, it's a caveman. Did I include Wonga? I don't think I did, but I probably should have, because he's at least a caveman, but he'd probably still be getting F tier, so. If I see him, he'll get F tier. He still gets F tier either way, but it's fine. Where's the werewolf? And oh, Scooby-Doo werewolf. Okay, that's terrifying. Okay. I'm gonna be straight. That's a spooky looking Scooby-Doo. They made him creepy looking, and I appreciate that. That's a good design for Scooby-Doo. So yeah, I'm gonna give this an A tier. That's a better design than the werewolf Shaggy we saw here earlier. This is a creepy looking Scooby-Doo that actually kind of scares me. He looks really mean, and I wouldn't want to tussle with him. And that's just a guy, resident of Gargoyle Street, who seemingly lives his friend Bulldog. Yeah, those are words. And lastly, for the Scooby and Scrappy series is the Abominable Snowman. And it's an abominable snowman. And it's worth, I guess, a C tier. It's better than a D tier, but not by much. So, we're moving on. And now we've got, let's see, these were shorts, so I'm not going to do them. Whew. Next we have Scooby and Scrappy-Doo show, so we're not done with Scrappy yet. I think I just picked Olaf the Terrible out of this one. Viking guy. He's a Viking guy. Olaf the Terrible gets a pretty low score. I'll put him in D tier. Say it's kind of in the cat lady vibe. More than just a person, but just a person. So, did I include Viking pirates? Viking pirates. Okay. I might have. Let me look to see if I have them. I don't think I have them. They'd probably be getting F tier. They're just Vikings. They're fine. If I see them, I'll put them in F tier. Seaweed monster. Oh, no, that's a seaweed monster. That is, in fact, a seaweed monster. And it's kind of spooky. It's kind of weird. I like it. I think Seaweed Monster is worth a B tier. And we're moving on. Seaweed Monster was pretty good. This is just a shark, so it's F tier. Cowabunga Carlisle. What a name. Real Haunts. Okay, so I am going to include Real Haunts because they're still villains. Face in the fireplace. And this is unique for Scooby-Doo. You don't see this a whole lot in Scooby-Doo. It's pretty weird. I like the design. It's pretty spooky. I think it's a good little monster. And it's a real monster. I'm going to say this one is a B tier. But I do like it quite a lot. Ghosts under the bed. See, they got the skull face. They're creepy. They're weird. I like the realness of them. I love it when Scooby-Doo does real monsters. I just don't want them to overdo it on the real monsters, because they can. Where's the ghosts under the bed? There they are. I'm giving you a B tier as well. Then we have, oops, wrong one. Living animal heads. Yeah, they're living animal heads. They're ghosts. They're spooky. They're living animal heads. So they are going to be getting a D tier. Unlike the other ones from this episode where they're actually kind of scary looking, these are just monsters. These are just animal heads. Just animal heads, not worth much. Skeleton in a Sunday bonnet. If it weren't designed like that, I'd say that face is really creepy, but I can't take it seriously when it looks like that. So, D tier. D tier. It's gonna be hampered down by the design. It looks spooky though. Like if that was a bit more like photorealistic and it was a single shot shown like into a casket or something, horrifying. Especially I think because of the bonnet. But in this form, it's just not that spooky. I'm just gonna go from there. Living statue, the face here isn't that great. I like the idea, I like the form, but the face itself is kind of basic. So I'm probably going to give it a similar score of D, because it's just not that interesting. It could have been really good. But I just don't care for it that much. So D tier we go. Organ playing ghost. Again with the skull. I like it. I like it a lot. I like the organ. It's a pretty classic one. It's not unique, but it's classic. I like it. And it's going to get a B tier because of that. Join its friends under the bed. So, where'd we go? Mud Monster. So I know I ranked, like the seaweed monster here. I know I put the wax monster in S tier and the tar monster in S tier. This one just doesn't look that interesting. It's a mud monster. It's pretty basic and not great. So yeah, I'm giving this D tier. It's just not that spooky. It's just not that weird. It's just not that unique. It's just a D tier to me. Also, I found Trumpo, so F tier. Next, from the Mud Monster, we have the Hound of the Baskervilles. It's a bit more interesting. It's a bit kind of cooler than a regular werewolf design. I like the eyes. It's not bad. I like it pretty well. I don't think it's worth a B tier, but I'd say it's probably kind of higher in the C tier position. I guess somewhere around there. I haven't been specifically trying to find spots for everything, but generally that's kind of I'd say it's pretty higher in the C tier vibe. Not quite B tier, but not bad. Not bad. This is just a dinosaur. This is just a dinosaur. I don't know if I even have it. We'll see. There it is. Yep. I'm gonna put it in F tier. It's just a dinosaur. That'd be really impressive if it were real, but it's just a cartoon dinosaur. It's just an F tier to me. It's no more special than a evil animal. It's just a dinosaur. Creature from the Chem Lab. It's a little creepier. I like that it's got one eye shut. The mouth is kind of gooey and gaping and weird. I'm gonna say C tier for this one. I like it. It's okay. Gets the job done. That's what you want. Next we have the Masked Manx. It's a dude in a gorilla suit, and that means it is going to get a low score. It's really just it's also like the dude wearing it is ripping off somebody else's costume to get people to think that was the dude doing it, not him. It's a D tier. It's a D tier. Zombies from Scooby-Doo and Cyclops 2. They're zombies. The zombies on Zombie Island are scarier. They're not even especially weird zombies. Just, I guess because of that, I would say they're going to get, I want to say F tier actually, but maybe D tier. Low D tier though. Next we have Randar the Ape Man. I think I actually removed him. This is just a guy. Oh, F tier. F tier. He's just a guy. Neanderthal Monster of the Devil's Rock. That's a Bigfoot. That is a Bigfoot, and it's not especially an uninteresting Bigfoot. D tier. Chameleon is a guy. Let's see if I have him. He's a guy, but I guess he's got some special powers. As you can see, he's got, like, his clothes look like the back wall, so he's obviously got some special power going on, or at least he's got a costume on to help him blend in. I'm gonna give him a D tier, because he is just a guy, but he's more special, I would assume. I think he looks pretty cool overall. D tier. Tower Wizard, it's a wizard. I just gotta keep giving these F tiers, because I just don't care about their designs at all. They're just it's just a typical wizard, what you would expect from a wizard. Yadzruk. Now this is more interesting. This is more interesting. It's kind of like a chimera abomination, and I love those things. So, this one's going to go C tier. Much better than the Magician. I like it. Let's go. Phantom of the Soaps. If I have him, he's probably getting F tier. It's just a guy in a mask. and not in... And I know that's all Scooby-Doo villains for the most part, but this one especially is just a guy in a mask, and that's nothing special. So, F tier. This one's also a dream ending, so I don't really want to rank them. A clown. It's a clown. And that's it. Ooh. F tier. F tier for the clown. Minotaur. It's another Minotaur. A bit more fearsome looking than the other one, but not any more unique or interesting. So this Minotaur is getting lateral position to where the other one was, and I don't know where it is. There we go. Where's the other one? Minotaur was probably D tier if I had to guess. Yeah, there it is. Lateral, D tier. Casey O'Reilly. It's a ghost of a guy. It's better than just a guy, so it's not an F tier, but it's a ghost of a guy. And that's gonna knock it down a peg. Or 2 or 3 or whatever. So it's gonna be D tier. It will be a D tier. I have declared it so. And if I declare it, then you know it's serious. So next we have Gremlin. It's a cool design. Actually, hold on. Let me look at this real quick. It's a cool design. I like the nose. I like the horns on the head. Gets the job done. Does it pretty well. I'm going to give this a C tier. I like it. Let's go. Spectre of sports cars. Now, I'm not sure what this has to do with a sports car. It doesn't look like the ghost of a sports car. But he's weird. He's spooky. I like the bald head. I like the fierce eyebrows. I like the open and gaping eyes and mouth. I like it. I would actually, as weird of a villain, like Spectre of sports cars? Weird. But I like the design a lot. So it gets B tier for that. And Real Monsters. Let's see what the... Oh, yes. It's like Dracula, Dracula's wife, Frankenstein's monster, and Dracula and Dracula's wife's son. That's the grouping. And they're just normal. They're basic. Because of that, they're not going very high. I'm going to group all of them together. They're all D tier. So, Ghost of Chef Maras. It's a ghost of a guy. He's not very scary. He's not very interesting. D tier. Let's move on from there. Mummy. This one's a little spookier than the last Mummy. I put the last Mummy, I think, in D tier. Yeah, there he is. This one, that one was kind of normal looking. This one's, I don't know if it's the lower budget on the animation that looks a little cheaper than this one does, but I like it more. So, yeah, let's say this Mummy is worth a C tier. And the ghost of McBaggy Rogers, it looks like Shaggy, and I assume that's why the last name is Rogers. Let's see. Came to the wedding of Maggie Rogers. That's gotta be, he looks like Shaggy. Oh, is that just coincidence? He's not actually related, like he's not some Shaggy's ancestor? Okay, that's weird. Well, McBaggy Rogers, you're, I guess, more unique than a lot of these other ghosts of just people. At least he's got like the pilgrim hat. So I'll give him a C tier. Low C tier, but a C tier. And that's it for, I think that does it for all the Scrappy-Doo, actual like Scrappy-Doo shows. So, now we can move on. And we're going to the new Scooby-Doo Mysteries. This one has the Red Skull, apparently. I don't think that's the normal Red Skull. It's interesting. I guess I'd say it's worth C tier. Pretty basic, pretty normal, but interesting. Maid Mummy. Look at that thing. Just look at the Maid Mummy. Why did they do this? It's got a full head of hair. It's got a maid outfit. Why would they design this? That's so funny. That's so goofy. That's just really goofy. I kind of love it. It's really dumb, but I kind of love it. Maid Mummy is going C tier. can I use that? Whatever. Maid Mummy C tier. Maid Mummy is C tier. Helping Hand is a hand. So it's pretty low. I'm gonna say D tier. Just not that special. Not to me. Not to me. Sea Demon. Pretty basic. I think it's better than a D tier. So C tier. Cyclops. At least all the monsters in the series seem to be actual, like, monsters. They're, like, actual good designs, basic designs, but good designs. I like it. It's not bad. So, the Cyclops is pretty nice. I like the design. It looks pretty creepy. I'd say this is a C tier and kind of on the higher side. So after Cyclops is Mastermind, which is just a guy, and assuming I have him here, which I don't think I do. I don't see him. He'd be probably getting F tier. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's a villain, but they're all villains. I'm gonna say F tier. He's not that special. Giant bees. Really. Giant bees. Is that the best they could come up with? I mean, look, they're bees, so I'm sure they're a gang of foreign spies. You're kidding. Why are they foreign spies? And not just monsters that are gonna sting people to death. Why would they look like this? That is... I'm gonna knock them. I might have given them a D, but that's so ridiculous that it's getting an F. That's so dumb. Why? Were they actually in the bee costumes? Why are they costumes and not giant robots? Okay. That is a guy. I might have removed him, but it's a pretty basic ghost design. I'm gonna give it F tier. I just don't care about it. It's just a guy who's a ghost. There can be so much more interesting stuff to do with guys who are just ghosts. Not this one. That's pretty boring. Codefinger, another supervillain. They started putting supervillains in everything. Codefinger is, I'd say, F tier. I don't care about it. It's F tier. It's F tier. Ghost of the Ancient Astronauts. I think those are the good guys. I don't know if I could find any pictures of those zombies, and I don't know what they look like, so I'm just gonna have to assume they're basic looking. Oh, wait. Oh, hey! Those are creepy. I did not put them in here. These are creepy looking, and I can respect that. I will be putting these guys in high C tier. Not quite B tier, although they're pretty good, but I don't have a picture for them. I know I don't have a picture of them. So, high B tier, and let's go from there. Just know that's where I would put them if I had clicked on that and put them into the tier listing. Evil Elf. Elf King. He's an Elf King, alright. And after those zombies, I'm just kind of kicking myself because I actually wish I had put them up higher. Mad Sea Lion, it's a disguise, not just an animal, but it's just an animal of a disguise. Did I have a gorilla in here? No? Well, so long as the gorillas and whatever are up here, I'll put the Mad Sea Lion in D tier as well. But that's about all it's getting. Van Helsing. The ghost of Van Helsing. Okay. It's not all that especially. It's flat. At least it's spooky looking. I'll give it a C tier. It's spooky looking. It's Van Helsing for some reason. George Washington, the ghost of George, a night louse at the White House. The ghost of George Washington. I would be afraid to see him in person. Let's just say he's a D tier and move on. And I think Abraham Lincoln is next. Yeah, looks like he's watching a theater show. That's what he looks like he's doing right there. He isn't going to be very high either. They both get D tier. Colonel Beauregard. Pops baloney. It's C tier. It's spooky. It's a little weird. Not that special. When I think of Beauregard, this isn't what I think of. I think of the Scooby-Doo, like, special movie looking thing. Not that. Laser Band Thief is just a person. Nothing there. F tier. You're kidding me! Why is there a ghost of Sherlock Holmes? I mean, I like the red little dots for the eyes, but why is there a ghost of Sherlock Holmes? Why is there a ghost of Sherlock Holmes? Look, I'll give it a C tier because it is pretty spooky looking, but why is there a ghost of Sherlock Holmes? I can finally get out of that thing. Why is there a ghost of Sherlock Holmes? I will ask that question till the day I die or until I get an answer. Why was there a ghost of Sherlock Holmes? Okay, the next one is Monster Mutt. It's a good design. It's a C tier. It's a C tier. It's pretty basic, but it's spooky. It's weird. It's kind of a good design. I like it. C tier. Monster Mouse, and it's a genetically engineered mouse. So this is our future, 10 years tops. This is what we're going to have to look forward to. And because of that, it's getting an F tier. I don't like it. I don't like the truth. I don't like the future. We're going to leave it there. Christmas Never. Oh. The Ghost of Christmas Nether. Not Nether. This isn't Minecraft. The Ghost of Christmas Never. It's a good design. I love the white cloak. I love the blacked out face with the red dots and the star wand, and it's hunched over like that. That's a good design. I like this a lot. So much so that I think I'm going to put it in A tier. That looks, and like the name too, Ghost of Christmas Never, does the job and does it well. I like it. So yeah, no, I'm putting that in A tier. Alright, now we've got the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. And they finished this. Title card. They finished this. They released a movie finishing up the plot of this because I don't think they did in the original series. But I also don't think the movie looked that good. It's been a while since I've seen it. So if you liked it, hey, let me know and maybe I'll look into it. But it just didn't seem that interesting. I watched a bit of the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. I remember Boggle and Weird, but I don't remember it all that well. I only watched a bit. I remember liking it. I liked the theme, the intro was good, if I remember correctly. But again, it's been a long time. So, Boggle is a little... I don't remember his personality. I assume he's a little goofy just based on his design. He's not that scary. He's going in D tier. And Weird... looks... Oh my gosh, you know what he looks like? Do you know that string cheese brand with the string cheese dude mascot? He looks like that thing. I don't remember what brand that is. I never get it. But he looks like that thing. He looks like a string cheese mascot. And, not a spooky one at that. So they're both getting D tier. I don't remember their personalities super well, so maybe they were more intimidating, their plot was more intimidating in the show. I wish I remembered it better. I liked the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. Oh, that's a cool design. I like this. I do. You know what? That's a really good design. I'm gonna give Maldor A tier. Because that's pretty scary looking. I wouldn't want to face that demon. I wouldn't want to face that ghost. And I like it. Whereas Queen Morbidia, I don't care for. It's okay. It's fine. It's Queen Morbidia. It's getting D tier. But Maldor was spooky. I liked it. Reflector... Oh, now that's an interesting and unique design. I don't like it as much as I like Maldor, because Maldor is just meshed really well. All the elements looked so cool together. But, yeah, this one's B tier. A good B tier. It's more unique. It's got more stuff to it. I like it. Zomba, little zombie girl, I guess. Not that interesting to me. I like that it's all red, but it's getting C tier. I'm okay with that. I wish all these things so interesting. They look so unique, and so I wish I remembered the show better, or maybe I just need to rewatch it. But Captain Ferguson is not a good design. It's just like a little. He almost looks like a normal zombie, except he's got a giant buck tooth, like fang, in the front, and I don't care for it. D tier. They're going back and forth between really good designs and really basic, boring designs. Nakara. So, looks just like a normal person. She's a demon. And I can respect this design for a demon. Just like a normal person, but got that coquettish design, coquettish vibe. I like the design. Not especially unique or interesting, so I'm going to go C tier, but it looks like a good demon. I'm going to go C tier. Marcella. Little spooky. I like the face. It's pretty creepy. And the hair, and the outfit. It's a good design. It's a good design. I don't... Where's Marcella here? I'm going to say B tier. I like this one. I like it. It's pretty good. And Time Slime. It's not doing it for me. He's a little weird. Gets the job done. So, C tier. Man, there's been some good designs for the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. I really do need to rewatch it. Demondo, he's cool. I don't dislike his design. But he's not anything special to me. Oops, where'd he go? There we go. So, C tier. He'd be like middle C tier. Rancor. The Rancor. He's kind of like the demon that I saw earlier, who's an A tier here, except not as interesting. He's got some glasses on, or in his hand, that's interesting. But he just looks like a demon. What you'd come to expect. I guess he serves his purpose. C tier. I'll say... that's probably the weakest one of them. This is just a person, kind of for a demon design again, but he's also kind of a basic humanoid demon-looking guy. Don't really care much for him. D tier. Zimbulu. You know what? This looks like if they did the Manitor well. I like it. He's a little, fearsome, intimidating, and scary. He's scary. I'd say he's high B tier. At least B tier with the other ones. Probably at least above the other ones from the show. I like his design. It matches itself well. And intimidating. I wouldn't want to face him. He seems scary. Okay. Now we are at the final TV series that I'm going to cover. A pup named Scooby-Doo. I did watch this as a kid. I don't remember it super well, but better than the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. I remember enjoying it, but it definitely seemed like that was probably only because I was a kid. But let's just go on, and the first villain is just Ghost, which is so basic of a name, and also that doesn't look like a ghost at all. It looks like a monster. It looks like a slime monster. This isn't that interesting or unique. I'm going to have to say probably D tier. If they named it better, I might have given it a C tier. So I'd say high D tier, but I just don't have any interest in it. Sludge monster from the Earth's core. Now, I'm not sure what makes this a sludge monster. I could see the Earth's core, but it's missing the sludgeness to it. Maybe it shoots sludge, I'm not sure. It's okay of a design. It serves its purpose. It's a bit spooky, but it looks a little over-engineered. I guess I'd say C tier. It doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look good. So, C tier. Cheese Monster. Oh, I think I remember this one. Cheese Monster is a cheese monster as a cheese monster has ever been. Oops. So let's go C tier for that. Dr. Croaker. Yeah, it looks like you would call that character Dr. Croaker. So when they get the job done and nothing else, they get C tier. Dr. Croaker, Ghost of Al Capone. Oh, you know what? He's a little creepy. That big, wide, yellow smile, skull head, flying hair, pinstripe suit. I like him. I'd say he's a C tier, but a higher C tier than the other ones from this category. Probably about there. Well, maybe a bit higher than that. Maybe a bit there. Boogity Bones. Well, they're different. They're kind of interesting. I'm not sure what it is, other than a monster with 3 heads. But I don't dislike it. It's worth a C tier. Middle, kind of low middle C tier. It's not bad. Ice Demon. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Ice Demon. Yeah, it looks like an Ice Demon. It's a good design for an Ice Demon. It looks a lot like the Cyber Chase. I don't remember what it's called. The Cyber Chase monster, which is actually a better design than this is. See, there's the Cyber Chase monster. This isn't as good as that. So it's getting low C tier. Yeah, and that's it. Samurai Ghost. I like the red skin. That's about all I'm going for. These have all been so middle of the pack. A pup named Scooby-Doo. Like, they're not bad designs. They're pretty good, but they're not, like, above and beyond. They're just kind of what you would expect. Oh, I remember this one, too. Headless Skateboarder, Pumpkinhead, Headless Horseman. I'm going to say this is a high D tier. It's not quite as... It's not good enough to be a C tier. It's just a headless skateboarder with a pumpkin head, and that's it. Boo Beard, it's, again, fine. I don't want to put it in C tier. It doesn't do enough. It's going in D tier, and I'm moving on. Totem Monster. Oh, that's cool. I like this. That'd be intimidating. That'd be scary to see. So I'm going to give this one a C tier as well. Little kind of higher up C tier. It's good. It's a good design. I like that one. Where was it? Totem Monster. Another Chef Ghost. Those red teeth are kind of weird, if you ask me. I don't like them that much. I'm going to say this one is a D tier, actually. Because it's just not that special. It's just not that special. Stinkweed. That's a cool design. I like the little, like, circles in his eyes. I like the plant thorniness looking vibe he's got going on. I'd say he's a good C tier. Not quite B tier, but a high C tier. Up here somewhere. And we're moving on. The Ghost of Butler McMuttmauler. What a name. Imagine being named McMuttmauler. Wow. He's a good design too. It's a little spooky. Yeah, I like it. I think this one's a B tier. It's a little spooky, and with a name like McMuttmauler, I'm gonna put it in B tier. It's funny. I like it. I'd say B tier. Low B tier, but B tier. And we just got kind of an alien. Nothing special. This one, I'm having score whiplash because I went from B tier and now I'm going to D tier, I think. It's not that special to me. Not that scary. Not that weird. Just an alien. The Ghost of Purvis Parker. I like the mouth. I like the eyes and the nose. He's a higher end C tier. And not much more. Higher end C tier. And Chickenstein. Yeah, see, like, all the designs for these monsters have been fine. They've not been bad designs. They're just not that great. But Chickenstein's pretty good. It's funny, like a weird sort of, why would you make this? But it's not bad. I'd say it's a little on the higher end side of C tier. Almost B tier, not quite good enough. Burger Monster. The Burger Monster Burger, if you will. Yeah, that's a monster burger. And I guess you get what you pay for. And because of that, it's getting a C tier. So after Burger Monster, we get the Dinkley 2000. Is a robot created by Velma Dinkley. And it doesn't even look that interesting of a robot. It's just got big, long hands. I'm going to have to give this a D tier. Sorry, Velma. Not that interesting of a robot monster to fight anybody or to hurt anybody. It's just a robot. This one... Oh, she looks weird. Paula Picasso, of course. Of course. Artist. Yep. Not a monster, though, so not ranking her. Zombo! Oh, I remember Zombo. That's cool. Zombie clown, big weird top head, like with a big toothful smile. Like, I like that design. I'm actually gonna give this one a B tier. It's just a good. I think that's a good. It gets the job done and it does it well. It's not just normal and general. It's got a certain vibe it's going for, and it does it and nicely. I like it. The Boogie Biker. And that's what you'd expect out of a Boogie Biker. See, like I said, a lot of these designs aren't bad. They're just not special to me. They're fine. They get the job done. And I guess that's what a pup named Scooby-Doo did. It got the job done, shut you up for a while, and that was it. It was good entertainment. I remember liking it. Astronaut Ghost. That one's interesting. C tier still, but middle, higher end C tier. Wow, C tier's gotten huge. About there, I'd say. Bigwig. Oh, wait. You know how I was just saying that dude looked like the string cheese thing? This looks like the string cheese thing. Look at that guy. Like, you know what I mean, right? I wish I could just, like, take this guy and Weird and just compare them. This is Bigwig to, like, the string cheese dude. Yeah, I think I'd actually put him about the same rate. He's a little scarier than them, so maybe high D tier, but not really that interesting. The Hooded Heifer. This looks like, oh, who is it? Cow? From Cow and Chicken? Or am I missing somebody else I'm trying to think of? Like, just like one of those Nickelodeon cow designs. You know what I'm talking about, from the 90s. It's a cow monster. It's worth a D tier. Moving Mollusk. Oh, he's a mollusk, but he's not moving. Is he playing hockey? Is that a hockey stick? So it's worth D tier. It's D tier still. Oops. Wrong one. Didn't mean to click that. Hopefully I didn't mess it up too much. Moving Mollusk. Nasty Doo. Oh, see, this is like that other one, but not as interesting. It's just spooky Scooby-Doo. And because of that, I'm actually going to put it in D tier. Kind of lower end, not quite bottom, but D tier. Catcher on the Slide. There's no monster, but Buster McMuttmauler. Isn't that the ghost from earlier? Wait. What does he look like? You're telling me... Was he a recurring character? I'm going to say I remember this design. Was he trying to capture Scooby-Doo regularly? Why is there somebody pretending to be his ghost even though he's alive? Oh, he's a dog trainer? Oh, he was a dog trainer. Why would he disguise himself as the ghost of a dude who's alive? And I liked this design. What is going on here? Well, if there's no... I don't think... He'd be F tier because he's just a guy. I don't think I have him on my list. Ghost of Mrs. Shusham. Shusham. Yeah, that's what I would expect from pup named Scooby-Doo. I kind of like her design. I'd say high D tier. Not really that good of a design, but interesting enough. And the Wrath of Waitrose, who looks like a normal person in a supervillain costume. And that's where they're going to be ranked as. D tier. And now, and that was it. That was it for the TV shows. Now we're moving on to the movies. Because we're not doing What's New Scooby-Doo. We're not going to do Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. I grew up on What's New Scooby-Doo. I watched a bit of Mystery Incorporated, and it seemed okay. It didn't seem as good as it should have been, but it was fine from what I watched. I didn't watch the whole thing. I did not like Be Cool Scooby-Doo. It seemed so watered down. Oh, wait. It's not horrible. I don't know. I did not like the design of the gang at all. They looked so bad in this show. Atari Warrior. The monsters don't look so bad. At least not in little stills of them. But anyway, moving on. Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, I only kind of heard about, but like I loved the whole guest star thing, and this looked really good. This I wish I had watched, because it looked more like a classic Scooby-Doo show. So I would have liked to have watched it, and maybe if I can find it somewhere online I will, but oh well. So now we are on the films. And the first one, of course, the iconic Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. This one was a great one. The monsters were the like real monsters, and that was a big thing back in the day. So werecats, they're good design, they're spooky, they were pretty scary and intimidating, and they were a real problem for the gang. I'm gonna say they're still. I'm gonna give them A tier. I'm gonna say low A tier. I wanted to give them B tier because they're just kind of fine. But I don't dislike their design. They're really intimidating. They're really scary. I liked the movie a lot. I watch it pretty regularly. So I'm going to say they are A tier, but I would say low A tier. I don't know if I have them. Oh, yeah, because that was just kind of the monsters from the beginning. They don't really count. They're not really the main monsters of the episode. If they made a movie about them doing this whole thing again, then I'd probably include them, but I'm not going to. The zombies, though. These guys, I actually think their design is way spookier. So they deserve A tier. Whereas the other ones, I'd say, they're maybe kind of more like a B tier. These are A tier. These are very solidly A tier. They're scary. They're what you want out of a monster. I'd say very good A tier monsters. And they're real zombies. And they were spooky. And they terrified me. So I liked them a lot. Next is Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. So these are just the ones from the beginning. They don't count. I'm not going to rank them. They would be probably pretty high, but you only see them for a second anyway. There's the fake Witch's Ghost from early in the movie. This looks AI generated. What the heck? Why does it look so weird? Anyway, it's got like this like weird pattern all over it. I don't know what that's about. That's weird. But anyway... it is a fine design. It's better than a lot of the witches we've seen, but it's also kind of just a generic witch design. So I'm going to say C tier. I will say this much. I actually think I like the movie Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost more than Zombie Island. I love both of them, and I love what Zombie Island did for the series, but... Witch's Ghost, I just love... It's just got the vibes that I really am looking for. I love the Halloween vibes that I really love. And that's what... Like, it's not as scary as Zombie Island, but it's got this, like, seasonal spookiness to it that I just love. So I really like Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. Also, the Hex Girls. And come on. They're awesome. They're from Witch's Ghost, and they've been a staple ever since, and they're fantastic. So you can't knock on me for loving that the Hex Girls come from Witch's Ghost. Like, you really can't. But the real villain is Ben Ravencroft and Sarah Ravencroft. And her design is, I'd say, better, but she's still just kind of a witch. I'm going to say B tier for her. She's good. I like her as a villain. I guess if I had to put Ben Ravencroft, he's a human. He's a warlock, but he's a human. So maybe I'd have given him D tier, but it would have been low D tier. So probably D tier or F tier, somewhere in there. Oops, I gotta stop doing that. So moving on from that, Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. They're pretty spooky aliens. They're kind of unique. I like their design compared to most other Scooby-Doo aliens. They get the job done. They're pretty scary. I've only ever seen this movie like twice and a long time ago. So I'm gonna say C tier. They're fine. They're good. But they're not really all that different. So, yeah. And here we've got an all-time great. This was just such a... I love the design of the Phantom Virus. I love his character. I love what he does in the movie. I love how intimidating he is and how much of a threat he posed. And I love Cyber Chase, the movie. I love the whole movie. The Phantom Virus is going to be S tier because he's just that great of a villain. I love the design. Whereas the other one that was really similar is just C tier. This is so much better in every way. And down to the character, down to the movie, down to the way he's drawn and what he does. He's a great villain. He deserves S tier. He's getting S tier. And now, regrettably, we're going to stop with the Yaoi Yahoo. We're not going to go on to him because I got to stop somewhere. Because I want to cut off for the classics. It's arbitrary. I could argue maybe I shouldn't have even included Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. But for movies, I wanted to time this to go along with the release of What's New Scooby-Doo, and Cyber Chase released, What's New Scooby-Doo came out, and then Legend of the Vampire released, so that was where I was cutting off for these. And so we're going to move on. I'm sorry, because I do really like the Yaoi Yahoo, but that's where I'm going to stop it. I'm going to not include that as a classic, just because I want to cut it off somewhere, and that's where I'm going to cut it off. So... for the TV specials, for Scooby Goes Hollywood, we've got the crab creature of Creepy Crag. It's creepy. It's a crab creature. It gets the job done and nothing more. I'm going to say C tier. I never watched this one, so it's just not that special to me. Now, Beauregard's ghost spooked me out. He was creepy. He's a really good monster. He is... Oop, I dropped him off somewhere again. I need to stop doing that. He's getting A tier. I'm going to put him in A tier, and he deserves it, because he's well-designed, he's a Confederate, so he's even worse. And that's going to be where I put him, because he's a good ghost. Headless Horseman is a Headless Horseman. I don't know if did I include him? Yeah, I did. Headless Horseman, I kind of just don't care about him. I'm going to say D tier, middle to high D tier, and that's it. Skull Ghost is a Skull Ghost, as a Skull Ghost has ever been. Let's say C tier, it's fine. Not bad, not great. And Floating Skeleton, I didn't realize he would be headless, because it didn't say headless, but he's not that great. I'm going to say D tier for the Floating Skeleton. And that's going to do it for that. And now, here's a great one. Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School. The first one there is the Mirror Monster. It's spooky. It, copies images from other people. It's not great. It's nice. I like it. I'll say C tier. But that's kind of... It doesn't really have its own design. I don't remember if it... I don't think it has its own design. I think it just copied other people's looks. If I'm wrong, correct me, because... I need to watch Ghoul School again. I need to watch all of these things again. Well Dweller. Did I include Well Dweller? I don't think it was really a villain, but let's say D tier. It's fine. I think it was just like a general monster. Now we'll do the Grim Creeper, because this was a monster from the movie. The Grim Creeper, I liked his voice. He was kind of weird, off-putting voice. I'd say he's high C tier. But he's not that much more interesting. I don't know. He's a good design. You know what? I'm wrong. He's low B tier. He's low B tier. He's not that special, but he's pretty... He does the job well. He's a good monster. But Revolta is a revolting monster. And I always loved the phrase, revoltized. So, Revolta's getting A tier. Revolta is going A tier because she was a good villain. She's a good monster. I think she's got spider legs, which you can't see in this, but maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, then man, I really need to watch it again. But she's a good monster, and yeah. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that one. Oh, you know what I did forget? Let's see. That was the frog from earlier. So like I said, it was just a frog, F tier. The pumpkins from Witch's Ghost, they're fine. I think I was gonna say all the other like creatures that become monsters are just animals more or less, so F tier. I'll put these guys in D tier. Let's see. Wolfgang. Wolf-like servant. Did I? Maybe I put... Okay, yeah. I just did the main villains for this one. Count Dracula is Count Dracula, as any Count Dracula has ever been. D tier. And I don't know where that last one comes from, but I hope it's from here somewhere. Oh, I definitely didn't select you. Let's see. Theatrical and live action, short films, comics. Did I stop here? I don't know what this thing is. It's kind of spooky. It must have been from one of the shows, but like on the side. Theatrical, servers. Bunch and Crunch was... So yeah, I think I'm going to just say, whichever monster this is, you're going to have to let me know, because I don't remember what it was. But it's fine. It's not great. It's D tier. And that does it. This is my complete ranking of every classic Scooby-Doo villain there is. And a lot of them were just basic and not that interesting. They served their purpose in the episode fine, but they weren't necessarily unique or interesting. They were just a villain, and that was it. So that's pretty much anything in D and C tier. As you can see, D and F tier. Here's my F tier. And you see why a lot of these are basic. A lot of these are just monsters. A lot of these are just monsters, or not even just monsters, just people. A lot of these are just people or animals, etc., and they're just not that interesting. Here's all of my D tier. Again, just a little better than these ones. Maybe they were ghosts of people as opposed to just people, but not really all that special. Then you have C tier. These were the ones that like had a purpose and they filled their role and they were good and they were weird and they were scary. These are a lot of classic Scooby-Doo monsters. Nothing special about them, but memorable, unique, interesting. They get the job done, and that's it. And then you have my S, A, and B. B tier, you have some really unique designs, some spookiness to them. They're kind of scary. They're classic. There's something weird about them. You really like to see them, and I don't remember if necessarily all of them filled their role as well as they could have in their show or movie, but they definitely could have if the writers did a good job with them. And they deserve B tier. I'd say they deserve B tier. Then you get to A tier. These are the ones that are just spooky, weird. They creep me out personally. They've got good designs. They're intimidating. The ones that really make you go, whoa, that's a Scooby-Doo villain, all right. That really makes me want to hide under the bed. Especially when you were a kid, they're spooky. And then you got S tiers, the all-time greats. Almost all of them are just classic, except for the Phantom Virus, who is just one of my favorites. They're all terrifying in their own way. They're all unique for what they are or how they act. And they're just really good monsters. So that's gonna do it for today. Thank you for watching. If you've got your own ranking, this should be up, available on tiermaker.com. I think I've made it public. If it's not, comment below and let me know. I will do what I can to make it public. And yeah, I think that's where we're gonna finish it for today. Please like and subscribe. It gives me a lot of support, and I appreciate sharing your time with me. I had a good time with you today. So just have a good rest of your day. Thank you for watching.